As coaches, we failed to get through to them. As coaches, we failed to make our coaching points and our points more compelling than their fat little girlfriends. Now, their fat little girlfriends have some obvious advantages. For one thing, their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are and how easy it's going to be and how, we had a whole bunch of people. Everybody wanted to win the football game, but nobody wanted to play the football game. Well, that defies every level of work ethic that exists with regard to football. And as coaches, we have to solve our failure on reaching them, and the players have to listen. And I'm willing to go to fairly amazing lengths to try to make that happen. I don't know if I'll be successful this week or not, but I am going to try, and there will be some people inconvenienced. And if it happens to be their fat little girlfriends, too bad.
All right. Hello.
Rest in peace.
And welcome to the Football is King podcast. Unfortunately, we have to start this week on an extremely sad note. We have lost the Pirate King himself, Mike Leach, this morning.
R.I.P.
And you know what? We just want all the fat little girlfriends out there to know that he's still looking down on you from heaven. If you're coming in the way of players playing football, then you need to get gone.
Yep. Anyone can get it from Mike Leach.
So we're going to change the beginning of our podcast a little bit. I just thought we could go around the horn a little bit and talk about, besides the fat little girlfriends, what are some favorite Mike Leach moments from his just illustrious career. Not only is he, one of the greatest college football minds of the last probably 20 years, but he also is 100% the best coach to listen to. Followed closely by Mr. Van Gundy. He's 40, but
come at me.
We now have to protect Van Gundy.
Yeah, but Mike Leach is definitely up there. My favorite thing is definitely the Pac-12 mascot war, where he talks about all the mascots and who would win in a fight. He talks about, the Cougars and all those things. Well, they're right out, but Arizona State, we
don't know what kind of superpowers.
Yeah, they got the Sun Devil. Who knows what powers they have? That was great. I just love that someone had the audacity to ask him that in a press conference. Like, hey, man, which mascot would win in a fight?
Mike Leach is gets the questions that you see a Bill Belichick or someone get, and they just get pissed, or a Greg Popovich, and they're like, seriously? And
they
Mike
Leach leave.
Yeah, but Mike Leach, he hones into that, and he gives you absolute internet gold every single time. I think we're one of the podcasts probably in the world that said we would love to have him at Texas A&M before his passing, so that never got to happen. But also, one of his newer clips that I came across again today was him talking about coffee. It was while he was at Mississippi State. That is a gold video too, saying coffee's trash. It's the experience is terrible. So don't add nothing to it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's just, anytime you put a mic in front of that guy, internet gold, 100%.
The comments on the gummy bears, I think it was in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
At halftime, when he was walking to the locker room, and he's talking about, I think they were talking about candy corn, and he was like,
yep. I hate candy corn.
That stuff is trash. But those gummy bears, I like those, but it's got to be them Haribo ones. Those Haribo ones, those are good stuff. And then he starts talking about, at one point, he started talking about Nerds Ropes, and he's like, saying how good Nerds Ropes are.
No, Nerds Clusters, the clusters.
The new ones, Nerds Clusters.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of a game, this man, if he was my coach in that moment, I might even be mad. But looking back, it's hilarious. In the middle of a game, a guy who makes multi-millions dollars is talking about freaking Nerds Clusters.
Nerds Ropes.
I like the idea of a player turning around and like, Coach, focus. He's like, oh, yeah, you're right. We're playing football.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a game.
He's
one of a kind, that's for sure.
Yeah, we lost an icon.
Kind of shocking, too, thinking 3 weeks ago, not even 3 weeks ago, he was literally coaching in the Egg Bowl, and now he just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Are you supposed to say
his assistants? It's both. He died and passed away. Passed.
I've always the only reason I asked
moved on.
Is
went to a better place.
Is it rude if you like tell someone like, sorry, your so and so died, or are you supposed to say like, oh,
You just
sorry,
say
they
sorry
passed
for your
on?
loss if you're talking to
okay.
someone who knew them. But yeah,
Man, you're almost 30, bro. You should know this by now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
did
don't know
like-
protocol for death.
was it Lincoln Riley? I think came out today. I can't remember what coach who like just told some story about how he got a phone call, and apparently Mike
Yeah,
Leach is very
yeah.
long-winded on phone calls, and he talked to this person for like an hour, and then the phone call dropped, and then he called him back, and they talked for like another 30 minutes, and then at the end, Lincoln Riley asked him like, "Hey man, who was that?" And he was like, "Oh, it was a wrong number." Like he talked to somebody from a wrong number for 90 minutes. And it's just like, and like, not only that, when the call dropped, he called him back. And I was just like, all right, Mike Leach made a new friend that day. Good for him.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently, when Lincoln Riley was in college, he played for Mike Leach, and Mike Leach like called him to the office one day and was like, "Hey, man, you're never gonna play. So if you want to like come be like a student coach, essentially, then like you're more than welcome to." And Lincoln Riley like left all pissed off, and the next morning he showed up to be like the student assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
And now Lincoln Riley's where he is. His coaching tree is actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Dude,
is.
As a guy that never played football,
Yeah,
he didn't play. He just
he's
loved
a freaking
football.
lawyer, or he has a lot of.
He was a
Yeah.
lawyer. He was an attorney.
I wonder if
But-
he studied Bill Walsh's offense. Cause like, I mean, he runs that air raid kind of
Yeah, air raid.
style. So I wonder if he came through like Bill Walsh's. Like, I mean, he's obviously a really smart guy. So I wonder if just like,
Yeah.
where did he learn his theory of football that he loved so much?
Well, there was him and one other guy I saw them talking about it today, and they kind of credit it to him and being with this one other guy, and I didn't even recognize the dude's name. And they were like they kind of revolutionized it at Omaha, like some Omaha junior or Nebraska or Iowa junior college, and it
I
worked
thought it was
there.
the
And they just
Iowa
kept
junior
moving up.
college
I
he
think it
was
was
at.
Iowa,
Yeah.
and they just kept moving up, moving up, moving up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw multiple, and I guess I didn't think about this in the moment. I saw multiple things today about how Mike Leach really was the innovator behind the air raid. It's come up.
Yeah,
I don't know how
that's
true that is. There's always kind words going out.
It depends on, I mean, what you say. Was he a big part of it? Like,
Yeah.
people are always going to go back to Bill Walsh when it comes to the passing game of the offense. But that's because Mike Leach was barely even alive when
Yeah.
that happened. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's just because
Bill
Bill Walsh's offense was the first one that was like, hey, we can actually throw a football. So
There's like two moments that I love from Mike Leach, and both come after big fights. So Texas Tech gets in a fight, and the quote is, if you get into a fight, don't take your helmet off. We're looking for smart football players, not dumb ones. In the interest of time, don't get in any more fights today. The second was that Mississippi State game. Like, first season there, when that kid drop kicks that guy, and it's like an all-out brawl. In the post-game interview, they're like, Coach, what are you going to tell your guys tonight? And he goes, I'm going to tell them, don't do that again. Like, that's it. That's amazing. Just, hey, guys, don't do that again.
Earlier this year too, when they weren't playing well against Auburn or something, and he literally took the chairs, folded them up, and laid them on the ground.
There's like two trainer interns putting him back up on the side of the camera,
and it's just a cell phone video of literally the head coach just folding up the chairs and laying them on the ground. Like, y'all don't deserve to sit down.
They don't deserve to sit down.
He's great.
internet gold.
Or he was great.
Oh, dude.
Definitely. Oh man, can you imagine if we had Mike Leach before the internet? That would be just the worst travesty.
Yeah, it would.
No, that would have sucked.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Mike Leach.
The like second episode of Friday Night Lights, when Coach Taylor is pumping gas and he looks over and Mike Leach is sitting there, and Mike Leach goes, hey, which way is Lubbock? Because it's like the first year he's in Tech. That shit's so freaking funny.
And then he said something in that scene like, you lost your inner pirate He's like, you're swinging your
Yes.
sword like this. You need to
Yes.
swing it like this.
Yes.
Like, what the heck?
He's gold.
Oh God, man, that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks so much. I was so sad driving to work when I see it pop up on my phone, and I texted y'all and was like, "Fuck."
I mean, it
I
was so
figured it
sudden.
wasn't. I
It
figured
was so
wasn't good.
sudden too, right? Like, how many days ago was it that we got the news that, like, hey,
3.
Like,
Two.
he's-
I
it's-
think it was 2.
yeah, I think it was 2 days ago. It's like, hey, man, this is bad. And then people were, everyone on the internet was coming out and be like, I know a friend of a friend whose pizza delivery guy
Yeah,
was
you don't
Mike
know.
Leach's best friend. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you don't know what was real. And then all of a sudden, like, the news came out, hey, it's bad. It's real
Yeah.
bad. And it's like, well, that sucks.
Like, there's first few hours were like, "Oh, he went to the hospital."
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got. And then, like, the following morning, it was like, "Oh, he's in critical condition," and that was the school putting out, "He's in critical condition.
Yeah.
Please pray." And which, by the way, most Mississippi thing, Southern thing ever for a school to ask for prayers. And then, like, last night, it was like everything that came out was like not good. Like,
Yeah.
it
Well,
was
I
like,
read a.
this
I
is
read
it.
it could have been a rumor, but I read that they had to when he was at his house. Somebody called 911. They brought a helicopter. Well, there was bad
Yeah.
weather in the area,
Yeah.
and they got him in the
Yeah.
helicopter, and then they couldn't take off.
Oh,
So then he just sat in the helicopter for who knows how long before
Yeah.
they
I think
could
it was
take
like
him. And he's in Starkville, Mississippi.
45
What the
minutes.
heck is
Yeah.
in Starkville, Mississippi, hospital-wise? So you have to fly to Jackson, which
you
is
gotta fly
not
to
close.
Jackson.
Yeah.
And then he was in a freaking whatever helicopter for an hour and a half.
Hey, I got one quick question before we move on. Any chance that when the autopsy comes out, this is COVID related? Or
You think he's a Trump guy? He's
I
a Trump
mean,
guy, so I'm not.
he-
no,
he-
I'm not saying Mike
He
Leach is
didn't
going to
he
decide this.
didn't look
I'm
very
saying
healthy. Like, he's
Yeah.
not a
Mike
healthy
Leach might
guy.
not be the healthiest. I mean, he really loved those gummy bears. So, I mean,
Yeah, them hair
It's-
Hey.
bugs.
yeah.
I'm just saying, could old Dr. Fauch get his hands on one more before the old
No,
train
Oh,
goes
and-
off the
An
track?
I think
anti-vaxxer.
he
It's gonna
probably
be
just
COVID.
isn't a healthy guy. You're in your 60s. You're not a healthy guy in the first place.
Hey,
Apparently he
we've
had
seen-
pneumonia all
But
season.
hey,
Hey,
Shane,
we-
to
pneumonia.
answer your question, it is definitely plausible.
No, it's
Yeah.
plausible. Yeah,
We've
sure, I
seen
mean,
this,
But
we've
they
seen
said
this
it was
one
a heart
before.
condition, so probably not.
COVID.
Ooh, myocarditis.
There you
go.
Myocarditis.
Ooh.
but
He got the vax. He got vaxxed.
it sounded like when they first came out with it, it sounded like it was a thing that, like, him and his family knew he had a heart issue.
Well, he had pneumonia the entire season apparently, and
Yeah.
at one point,
Yeah.
apparently his assistants were like, "Dude, you need to stop. Like, you need to go, like, take a
Home.
rest," and he didn't.
Well, I mean,
And then finally,
like these I mean, look at what a high school football coach does in the
Oh.
fall in Texas. Like,
Dude, coaches go
I
through
mean,
it all.
coaches in the, college and professional football, they work 5 or 6 days for 100 hours. So, I mean, they're working basically like
yeah,
20 to 18-hour days every day. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they can even have a bowel movement compared to, like, can they even,
Seriously.
like, their heartbeat. So
Yeah, like, when
yeah.
do they take a shit?
he was
like-
he was 61.
61.
51.
So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that 61-year-old working probably 100 hours a week in for 6 days or whatever. So I don't know. Math on that is, about 16 hours a day. I mean, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's got
So
problems with the heart and probably other problems as well.
here's
Well, it
my.
makes you wonder how this doesn't happen more.
Oh, it happens a lot. Like, I mean, people drop dead all the time from stress and.
No,
I mean,
but in that industry-
stress kills more people than anything in America by far.
Because
We
a lot
work
of the
ourselves to
coaches,
death.
Shane, live healthier lifestyles.
Yes.
And then they retire and then die usually.
Yeah. I mean, look at the trend right now. Most coaches are coming up and they're super young. They're in their 30s and stuff. And, there's two things that you can watch people visibly age, and that's become the president of the United States and
Or
a football coach. And
Yeah,
just like
that's
the
true.
hair starts getting lost or turning gray real fast.
Other than 45, Donald Trump stays tan. That spray tan stays there, and that hair stays.
Well,
Hey, Jeff Fisher is a prime example of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it counts if it's all fake, Jonathan.
Yeah, it happens. He didn't age
Hey,
really. Like if we're
I've-
being honest, he didn't age.
I do think
I've-
college football coaches have it worse than NFL coaches.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure,
dude.
because you're
Add
doing
the transfer
yeah.
portal now. Like they're not getting any time.
No,
They do have a bigger staff, which is nice, but they
They
have more
do.
to do.
but they have to recruit all year round. It's like it never stops.
It
They get like
never
a 2-week
stops.
break in the spring and a 2-week break in the winter.
I
Not
I feel
really.
like
Now
the
you have to
dele-
recruit your own guys.
the delegation at the NFL level has to be easier just because most of the time, like in the college, and I don't know this, but I would feel like the delegation is going to grad assistants. Like, can you really trust this guy? In NFL, at least you're delegating to guys that you know are tried and true. They're
Yeah, but
they
also
know
even
what
like
they're doing.
some grad assistants can't be in contact with like recruits, so you can't
No,
send them to
yeah.
a game.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have teams like Florida who basically hired. They
Well,
almost
wait-
have as many coaches as they have players at this point.
Oh, I thought this was going to child porn,
No,
No,
but I
Jesus.
didn't go there.
Well, that was a thing that happened in Florida this week.
It did
too,
happen in
so.
Florida. But the
Yeah,
other
John Kidd and his son running around crazy.
one of the first things that popped in my mind when I saw the article that said Mike Leach had passed away was how shitty do you feel being the player that released his transfer portal
Oh,
and
yes.
took the jab at Mike Leach
Yep.
literally 4 or 5 days ago? That
Yeah.
happened 4 or 5 days ago. That's not even 7 days. It's not even a full week.
Oh,
And
another
now-
funny.
He
Another
passed
funny
away.
Leach
Now you
moment.
feel like shit, don't you, bud?
I bet he
I
feels
thought the
nothing.
same thing.
I bet
Probably
he
not.
feels nothing though.
I don't know
Nor-
how you could take a shot at Mike Leach, even if you didn't play.
I
or-
guess
but
Mike
the-
Leach said he
He
was
said
lazy
he
or
wasn't
something.
tough.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
if
another
Mike
funny
Leach
Mike
tells me
Leach
I'm
He's
comment-
not
in
tough,
Mississippi State in rushing yards, but he wasn't tough.
They asked Mike Leach who should write or what they should think about his obituary, and he said, "What the hell do I care? I'll be dead. That's all. That's their problem."
he's gold.
It's gold.
He's great.
They should just play on loop, just video quotes of him, just on loop at his funeral. Just keep him rolling.
Hey, for the past 6 years, if I find myself in a place where I need a good laugh, there's a couple things I search. One of the things I do actively search, and it'll pop up on my YouTube, is Mike Leach interviews, and it is gold every single time. It'll put a smile on your face.
Well,
It's
dude,
great.
he was the best at conference meetings.
Media days,
Like-
yeah.
Media days were
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Oh,
He
for
literally
sure.
walked up, said, "I have no opening remarks. I'm here to answer questions."
Yeah, he said,
Yep.
he said, like, I think the opening remarks are stupid. I can tell you a bunch of fluff. Let's just cut out the middleman.
And then they don't ask him a serious question whatsoever because they
No,
know
yeah.
he's not going to answer
Which is
seriously.
exactly what he wants.
It's
No, they ask him
hilarious.
about unicorns, and he goes into a 1,500-page diatribe about
That's
how
the question.
unicorns
Do you think
are
he ever
real.
regretted it? Do you like,
No.
all of those coaches that like they have a set media tone, like Pop or Belichick. Do you think that like sometimes Pop and Belichick are like, man, I don't really
No.
want to be a butt to this reporter, but I have to keep the image. So
I think
No.
I think the difference between like Pop and Belichick, like, I don't feel like that's who they really are as people. Mike
Yeah.
Leach, I think that's just who he was.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's who he
it's
is.
like, yeah. So I think sometimes like Greg Popovich might regret, like, man,
Yeah.
I gotta make fun of this reporter, but that's just like I really actually
It's
that
what
was actually a really good question. I would love to just
Yeah.
talk to them about basketball, but I can't. I gotta make fun of his jacket. All right, here we
It's
go.
like he started the shtick early on, and now he's got to maintain it because everyone expects it.
But yeah, Mike Leach might have been a little crazy.
I think he was
But
just
dude,
crazy. I think he just
You're kind
he
of crazy.
he cared about football, but he also like didn't take it like
He didn't
that
take himself
seriously.
too seriously.
Yeah.
No.
And that's what I appreciated about him is I knew exactly what I was getting.
Yep. Well, actually, his teams are always freaking wild cards. You never know what you're gonna get. But
No. That's for sure. That's for sure. I
But
knew
that
I was
was-
going to see them throw the ball a lot, no matter what.
their consistency was that they were going to be inconsistent. It was like, all right, that's fun.
But it was gold.
I mean, the dude locked the kid in the shed. I really appreciate
I
it.
know.
So,
Hey, you want to know one thing about Mike Leach? And I think this needs to speak volumes for the world, except for a couple political figures. We should give people a second chance, because if the internet was as big as it was when Mike Leach locked a kid in a shed, he would have never had a job again.
Well, he said he had a concussion, was sensitive to light, so he's doing him a favor.
Well, I mean, once again, Mike Leach got an answer for everything.
I've also read that was kind of a made-up story, somewhat by the father and all this stuff, like trying to get money.
I would not be surprised there either.
No. But didn't Mike Leach openly admit that he told him to go sit in the shed?
I think he told him to, yes, and then
because
the guy did.
He had a concussion. And it was
but
didn't they? Wasn't it exaggerated that they locked him in there?
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't think they locked him.
I don't think it was
so
a
good.
radio situation where they locked him in the shed and they were beating.
Not
on
a
the edge
radio
of it.
situation. Mike Leach.
We should laugh at that.
We should laugh
at that.
We're not laughing at it. We're making a comparison. Shane.
No, dude.
Right.
It's just every story from that dude's career is just fucking gold. Just fucking gold.
I was gonna say, on that note, now that radio has been brought up, let's keep it going. It was a bad week of gambling. There we go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. You did okay, and the rest of us did bad. So as an average, not great.
It's not my fault. That's y'all's.
That's true.
Now we got bamboozled.
It was one of the weirdest weeks in the NFL, and it was really fun to watch. That's what I'll say. And because we only had NFL games to bet on, it was.
No, I bet on a college game, and it was one of the weirdest Army Navy games ever in history.
That too. It was just a weird football weekend.
It was still boring too.
Coach got fired before he even left the stadium.
Pretty electric game, honestly. I watched the whole thing. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that game.
There was one completed pass, like in the fourth quarter.
I turned that shit off at halftime. I was like, all right, I'm good.
It wasn't the best game I've ever seen.
Said, I wish they would just do something else.
I mean, yeah, just every once in a while, just throw the ball up, see what happens.
Hey, if there's something that describes just America in general, it's hey,
run the ball.
We're gonna just keep doing the same thing until it works. We will not change.
It's okay to watch, like when it's one team doing it, but when it's both teams doing it, you're like, this is awful.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's just like change it up maybe once every 4 drives, maybe drop back for a little fake here and drop play action.
How do they get a wide receiver on their roster? Why do they have wide receivers?
No, that's not how this works. That's
because they promised next year there'll be a running back.
No, that's not how this works. You have to be an athlete to be at a military academy.
Okay. Well, calm down now.
No, you physically
saw
have
some
to
of those
letter
people
in
in
some
the
type of
stands.
sport to be there. You cannot go as just a
That's not true. My friend's brother literally goes there and is not an athlete.
Is he
He
a
goes to the
water
Naval
boy?
Academy.
Is he a water boy?
No, he goes to the Naval Academy. No, he's about to be a SEAL.
No. He's at the Naval
athlete.
He's at the Naval Academy.
I know for West Point, you have to be part of an athletic program, even if it's just a trainer, a water boy, a ball boy. Like, you have to be part of another program. You cannot just go as a student.
Well, regardless, why are there wide receivers on the team?
Because they're the same reason as the quarterback for Army would never play anywhere else. He'd play at a D2.
This kid I went to high school with, though, he went to West Point. He wasn't an athlete.
Was he a towel boy? Was he a ball boy?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yes,
no, he was an offensive lineman. He was a big old son of a bitch too.
No, Ricky Enciolo went to West Point.
Oh, Ricky, he was a kicker.
You have to physically be on some type of organization. They will not let you just be a student.
No, but you remember that that big old kid that was offensive lineman a couple of years older than us? He went to West Point too. He was a big old.
It's also like,
well, regardless, they play terrible football.
You can play like club lacrosse and club soccer. You have to have an extracurricular activity.
They play Texas Texas middle school football for college football, and it's kind of bad.
It's terrible.
Well, no, Liberty Hill almost went to state 3 years in a row with the same damn offense.
Yeah, in like not
Texas high school football.
Well, also in
Liberty Hill 6A. Liberty Hill 6A.
They are
They
not
just
the,
turned 6A.
they are
just
not the
turned 6A.
biggest division in football. They are not playing in Westlake's division.
But they
No,
just
there's
got
no
knocked
way.
out. Dave Campbell's just put something up.
They
We gotta get
regardless,
our high
the
school associate on
pageantry.
it.
The pageantry is great, but as soon as the game starts, it's like, okay, let me turn this off.
Yeah, like I said, legit, I enjoyed every bit of the lead up to the game. I watched the first half, and at halftime, I sat there with a very, very conscious decision. I said, do I watch the second half of this game, or do I enjoy the rest of my Saturday? And I said, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of
Enjoy
my
the rest
Saturday.
of your Saturday.
I
Yeah,
loved
I'm-
watching the highlight
I'm
video
out.
because it was a very
I was
short
watching.
highlight
I was
video.
watching the England game.
There you go. Hey, that was a great game.
I went to a bar for the England game. That place was like sardines. I said, I am out of here.
I
It's
bet.
stupid.
A lot of
All right.
England fans.
Apparently, there was
Hey,
people waving
I
French
mean
flags.
that game
And
was
Georgia.
that game was the World Cup final. That was
Atlanta is like I will say Atlanta is like a big soccer
Yeah,
city.
Totally.
I mean, it's got the biggest soccer stadium in the MLS because
Yeah, it is a big soccer stadium. Like people here love soccer.
I mean, their soccer stadium is just a football stadium. It's not fair for the MLS
Yeah,
games,
it's
but whatever.
80. Well, when I went, it was probably 3/4 filled. They had some of it roped off.
I mean,
Still
they
probably
beat
50,000 people there.
They beat every attendance record by a mile. It's not even close.
Yeah,
All right.
Why is there such a
Um,
big soccer population?
I got one word for you, Shane. Well, I got multiple words for you. I got a sentence for you. The liberals love a soccer game.
I mean,
Oh,
Austin would have great attendance records. Their stadium's just not that big.
Yeah, but it's awesome environment there.
Yeah,
an awesome
it's great.
environment.
I mean,
also it's too expensive.
Austin FC is really not that expensive.
I will say the Atlanta FC games, the environment is awful because it's an NFL stadium.
It's good in the playoffs. Yeah, they're not a 6A high school. They're right down the street from me. I knew that.
They were a 2A high school 7 years ago.
I mean, they're
It
one of the
probably will be a
fastest.
6A high
I was
school.
like,
it
they're
will
one
be a
of the
6A
oh,
high school in
for
the
sure.
next
I
3
mean,
years.
Yeah, I mean, their school is bigger than the school I teach at. So
And they compete
they're
at
also
a
the
very high
only
level.
yeah, and they're the only well, there's a big jump from 5A to 6A. Let me tell you what.
Hey, I went to a game with Cooper Foster to go watch Ethan Tom, Mason's little brother, when he was at Liberty Hill. The dude was a bulldozer. He was an electric factory.
Let me tell you, Liberty hit.
That was 10 years ago.
Oh,
me
it
tell you,
was. I guarantee it.
Hey, Liberty Hill goes and plays Westlake, and it's gonna be a rough day. It's gonna be a
Bunch of country boys.
rough day.
Until Westlake doesn't know what to do with that formation.
Hey, Westlake finally lost. 54-game win streak
Yeah, I
snapped
saw
this
that.
past week.
54-game win streak.
54-game win streak snapped. in the
Also,
state
Liberty Hill.
semifinals.
Liberty Hill might have like a Detroit Lions curse. They got teachers fondling little girls in the parking
Oh,
lot
that's
and
true.
shit. So there's a curse there, possibly. So
Yeah,
throwing
well,
that
let's
out
not
there.
get into that too much. This is going to
Johnny
the public.
Miller.
You know what?
sorry.
Let's move on from the local high school football that none of our national or international viewers know about. We do have an advertisement for today, so let's talk about that. It's Christmas time again, our favorite time of year. Holiday
hate it.
time is when the most wonderful college football games are played. So this week's episode is brought to you by a local sports bookie with a very, very clever name, Seasons Beatings. They've got big balls, small balls, even slightly odd balls. When going about this holiday season, please don't forget to pay attention to their balls. Oh, shoot. Sorry, that said bowls. It said bowls. I apologize. Sorry. We got a bowl season right around the corner.
I thought you were talking about Dan Campbell there for a second.
No,
Blue balls, red balls, yellow balls.
that was my attempt at a lovely homage to one of my favorite SNL skits of all time. So for all my boomers out there who saw that one live, good for you. Shout out to our parents who are the only people who listen to this. Hopefully they understood what I was going for. All right.
I don't know if my mom has ever seen Saturday Night Live.
Mistakes. Old school SNL is just the best. Do we want to talk about soccer? We talked a lot about a lot of things already. We can just move it on. Here we go. Ready? 5 points. We're not even going to talk about it. Number 1, it's not coming home.
Nope.
not coming home.
It's coming
Nope.
home to the GOAT. To the GOAT.
No, France is going to win again.
France
is
is
going to
good,
happen.
but it's Messi's time.
Yeah, Brazil goes home. It was sad, but who cares?
Neymar cried like a little bitch.
Okay, there you go. Messi and Argentina. I wrote this actually the other day. I wrote Messi and Argentina survive, and then today they won 3-0, and they're in the final. Good for them. All right. The whole Arab world is rooting for Morocco, and the whole
Morocco's
African.
going to win tomorrow.
Well,
Let's go
Morocco's
Morocco.
going for it. They're going to get crushed by France because their whole team is injured. And
I
go
bet
Morocco.
you what's his name Wall isn't rooting for Morocco.
moving on. Speaking to the United States, well, he's not rooting for anyone because he's dead. Gio Reyna ruined the United States. It's
Oh,
come out over the past couple days. So there you go.
What a terrible move by Bearhalter.
Hey,
Terrible move.
you
What do you mean
fired
bad move by Bearhalter?
Bearhalter.
Why? Y'all are on the wrong side here.
Why would he even say anything? It's over. Just leave
Yeah.
it.
He's trying to save his job.
Oh, I think he
You
looks
never
worse
throw
now.
your players under the bus because now who wants to play for you?
Well, here's the thing. When
All
Gio
of the
Reyna came
people
out
who
and said,
still want to play in the World Cup still want to play for him, Shane.
agreed.
I don't
But
know.
Gio Reyna came out and literally said, Bearhalter came up to him before the tournament and said, you are not going to be a big part of this tournament. Why would you even say that?
Do you
Yeah.
know what? Okay, but do you know when that was said?
Apparently before they even went.
It was said. Nope. It was said. Like 3 or 4 days before the first game. He just said you're not going to be a bit. He said your time is going to be limited, which in soccer terms means you are going to be a substitute. And then
Don't you just not say that?
no, he's one of your most talented players, but he's coming off a humongous injury.
Exactly.
He's coming off a humongous injury. He is not fit to play for 90 minutes.
Then tell him that. Don't be like you're going to be play a small part in this.
That's what that
whatever.
means. He said you're going to have a limited play time. That means you're a sub. And
It was
Gio was just
bizarre.
like,
It was
"Oh,
bizarre.
I'm not going to start." And Gio's family handled it wrong by coming out and having his friend lie, saying that Gio was forced to lie, and then that got called out. Gio
He
Reyna and his
also
family
didn't
handled
handle
that
it well.
terribly.
But
They
didn't
all handled
Gio
it terribly.
I don't know if this is false reporting from another podcast I listened to. Didn't he score a goal a couple days after they all got home for some club team or some crap he plays
No,
on?
I
Or
mean,
is that false advertisement?
I mean, he might have played in a scrimmage for Dortmund since he's been back and scored a goal, but that doesn't mean anything.
I will
What
say
did
that
happen was after he was told he wasn't going to start, they had a scrimmage 2 days before the first game, and he just walked around the field. He didn't
Yeah.
play.
Okay,
He-
that shows bad
and
character.
that is why he didn't play, because he showed terrible. His teammates had to call out his behavior.
and he
Yeah,
had
that's
apologized in front of the team.
He was forced to apologize in front of the team. If this was any other country besides the United States who has like actual other talent to back him up, he would have got sent home immediately. But we don't have that, so we had to keep him around.
I agree.
No,
they all handled it wrong, but also my thing was like when Gio Reyna did get in the game, he didn't look good. So I'm like, just lean on that, Bearhalter. Just lean on the fact that he didn't look good.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but you're
that
pressing
everything
your
Berhalter
other
did was
players.
great, but I mean, Berhalter's not going to be the World Cup coach for the next time because he wants to be a club coach. So he's not even going to be here anyway. But I'm fine.
It's
I mean,
just-
Gio needs to grow up. That's for sure.
Isn't he 19?
He's 20.
20. So he
I'll,
definitely needs to
I'll-
grow up.
I'll concede with that, but I agree with Blake also. It doesn't look good as your head coach to try and drive a wedge because these
Yeah.
guys.
They know what happened, so it's like why release it to the media?
Those things
Yeah.
are always going to have because they're just trying to save face, right? The American soccer public. I mean, from the very first game when Gio didn't play at all, everyone was immediately like, "What is Berhalter doing? He's an idiot." Da 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 da.
Yeah.
They're just trying to save their own face. Spain's coach did the same thing today. Spain's coach came and said, his quote was like, "I was allowed to bring 26 players, so I brought 26 players. I wish I would have only brought 25. One of the players let us down for the entire tournament." And we don't know who he's talking about, but this happens all the time.
Eventually it'll happen.
Dude,
I
what a
mean,
shot.
I-
what a shot.
What was
Yeah.
it? 12 years ago, just the French team, like half the team quit in the middle of a World Cup.
I
Oh,
think
I didn't
we
know
should.
that.
Pretty
That's
brutal.
insane.
I think we should appeal to Austin and just hire Alexi Lawless to be the head.
All right, wait. No,
Football
I've never
coach.
said that ever in my lifetime. What if America was smart? What they should do is they should go get a non-American to be the head coach.
Yes. Yes.
Well, they tried that with Jurgen Klinsmann, but Taylor Twellman
Not-
did announce today that he was leaving ESPN. So I mean,
Jurgen-
maybe he's
no.
coming up there for it.
Jurgen Klinsmann, though, wasn't a coach. He was just a former German soccer
guy.
player who used to be very good. Like, we need to go get a world-class coach, pay them all the money because
Or
But the funny part about Klinsmann is the people hated him because he always put the MLS down. And now we're doing the exact same thing with Bearhalter. Like, no MLS players on the team. That's exactly what Klinsmann wanted.
yeah.
or
Maybe the
go ahead
Morocco
and
head
get a
coach.
Ted Lasso, get an American football coach
Football, yeah.
to come in and
Oh,
give us some
I wish
grit.
Mike
I
Leach could
don't-
have had that position.
I was gonna say.
Oh
can we bring
my God, Mike
Can we
Leach
bring
would've
Mike
been
Leach
amazing.
from the dead?
I don't want to say spoilers for season 1, Jonathan, but if you haven't seen season 1, they get relegated, so that's not a great thing.
No,
Like,
no. I've seen it all, but what
They
I'm
He can
saying
throw a
is
mean dart.
it's a building process. It's a building process.
they got
He's trying
relegated.
He's
They
trying
got
to input the
relegated.
culture. There's no relegation in international
Yeah.
soccer, so he should
Yeah,
be
we're
fine.
fine.
Sure, there is. We could beat Qatar.
Hey,
You're really
well-
missing the point here.
But we did
don't
actually
have to-
qualify.
We don't have to qualify for next year's
You don't
World
have to
Cup.
qualify.
We don't have to qualify.
And that's what I meant by we could beat
Shane could
Qatar.
be the coach.
I think we should automatically throw it just so more CONCACAF teams are in it, honestly. Just lose
That's
every game.
Not a bad idea.
I actually don't know how that works. I don't know if we're even a part of the qualification process.
I think you are, but then if you qualify as part of your group, there's a playoff between two other teams or whatever, or like a play-in game, because they had 2 play-in games this year, like between the Australian losers and some European team.
Yeah, but that always happens. That's
Wasn't
based
Wales
off
in like a
seedings.
play-in game?
Yeah, Wales and Ukraine played each other for the play-in game. That's
and
a
there
thing
was one
that
up.
that's a thing
that-
that's almost
okay.
always going to happen in Europe. That's just
Wait.
how that's a part of the UEFA.
I thought Australia also had to play somebody, or no, New Zealand might have played somebody or something crazy.
You're telling
Australia-
me Ukraine
Australia
played
also
a
played in
soccer
one.
game this year?
Who did?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
remember that?
Ukraine,
Ukraine
You
played
don't
multiple.
Yeah,
remember the
they
announcer?
almost made the World Cup.
as
They
in the
waxed
nation
Wales.
that didn't allow any males to leave the border without fighting.
Well, I hate to
These
break it
guys
to you,
don't live
but
in
most of them
Ukraine.
don't live in the Ukraine.
Aye.
Also, that's not true because Shakhtar Donetsk played in the Champions League this year, and they freaking almost made it out of their group, which was a miracle. And they are all definitely from the Ukraine, and they live in because that's where they play. And
Dude,
they were allowed to leave.
we're being lied to.
I mean, it's the same. Well, maybe you are. If you're only listening to Fox News, you might be being lied to just a little bit.
Whoa.
Hey, if you're only
whoa,
listening
whoa.
to any news source, you're being lied
Whoa,
to for sure.
whoa,
So there
whoa.
you go.
You've been.
Did you see the
you're-
Iranian
You gotta
soccer
leave
player?
Austin every once in a while, Austin.
Hey.
You gotta get out of that
Did you
place.
see the Iranian
Or
soccer player that's
he's
going to be
gotta listen to-
executed?
It's
That-
turning you all. It's turning you all sideways.
I don't know about
that.
Only
Just
listen
listen
to
to
Alex
multiple-
Jones, and he
There you
has
go.
never lied to me one time.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, for sure.
I listen to my Daily Wire. I'm happy with it.
Actually, I have a person that I was going to fit with a leg the other day. I walk in their room and they got Alex Jones on.
Oh,
There you go.
did
I
you
was like,
walk
"Get
Dude,
down."
out?
when I worked in the gun industry, you could hear that shit all over the place in the offices. Everyone would listen to it all day, every day. If you want to know the true threat to America, if shit pops off, we got a lot of Alex Jones people in the gun industry.
That's dangerous.
And they're devout. Like devout.
All
We're
right.
screwed.
Hey, let's keep it going. We're talking about football for the rest of the podcast, and I mean it's been like 45 minutes, so
No way.
we did it again. No, we're talking about football. Here we go.
Never gonna
I
happen.
don't
Can
care
we
about
talk
the random-
Chris Beard real quick.
Okay, let's talk about Chris Beard, then we'll talk about football. I was too scared to ask my student whose dad worked for Chris Beard today.
What a
Oh,
dumb
you
idiot.
should've asked
What a
him.
dumb idiot.
I was too scared.
Dude, you just ruined your life over a broad that you've been engaged to for 3 years and haven't married. Just
So-
leave her.
Let me tell you,
Yeah, right.
Sarah's been following the Chris Beard thing quite closely.
So dumb.
Chris Beard is
Bad
He's
person.
done.
he's got audio recording that proves he's innocent, according to
Yeah,
him.
but then they
he
asked him.
wouldn't
They
give
said
it up.
they said
He
release it. And he
wouldn't.
was like, no.
He wouldn't give it to him. Yeah.
He made that up. He literally made that up.
And
Unless
then-
he's waiting for a trial and he's like, I'm pulling this out during a trial.
Yeah,
Like, what an idiot.
I'm afraid we're gonna have a obviously a much minor case of this, but a Ray Rice 2.0.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done, dude. He's
I mean, yes, Chris Beard is
Done.
done for sure.
which
but-
is sad on the fact that he is probably I would venture to say the best head coach in college basketball.
I hope he saved some money.
I'm afraid
just-
he's gonna
$7 million
come out.
a year,
I'm afraid
dude.
it's gonna come out like right now. Everyone's like, all right, Chris Beard is bad, and then he'll get a lesser job 2 years from now or something like that.
He
And then
will.
it'll-
What's his face?
yeah.
Billy Gillespie.
And then it'll finally go to trial, and then we're gonna find out like, oh, hey, what Chris
He's
Beard
really
did
bad.
was really bad, and it's gonna be on camera or whatever. I mean, like Ray Rice straight up told the NFL like, hey, I punched her so hard in her face that she got knocked out, and they said 3-game suspension. And then the video came out, and they're like, just kidding, you can never play, because once it gets
Yeah.
out to the Court of Public Appeals.
Facts.
Like, so it's just like, yeah, I'm afraid that
Hey.
the NCAA is going to pull a Ray Rice, and Chris
He
Beard is going to end up,
literally
he's going to be coaching at Houston
No,
like 4
Hey,
years from now.
No, the only thing that's going to help Chris Beard, and this is just off what I've read, is his fiance or whatever she is
Yep.
has straight up said that they both were aggressors in
Oh,
the situation.
So we read the official thing that came out
Yeah.
today here in the. I mean, she technically does go in first and take his reading glasses and breaks them.
break
them.
Like, so like
Yeah.
the first.
No excuse for beating up a woman. Let's
No. I'm
no
sorry.
excuse. There's no excuse.
My point was they were both agitated.
Yeah,
And she was the first person to take it up a notch, and then
And
Chris
probably
Beard,
drunk.
then Chris Beard probably takes it
Oh,
up
he drinks a
more
lot,
than
too.
one notch.
yeah.
Oh, he did.
I-
After she broke the reading glasses, he hit her in the face and knocked
Yeah.
her reading glasses off.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
so
it-
like
Well-
yeah. What he did is despicable and terrible, and should
No,
lock him up.
So how
What
far?
a dummy.
So I was talking.
No.
Come
Whatever you're about to
Uh-oh.
say, there's no excuses.
No. I'm not supporting this whatsoever. I do not think you should be. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
If you've been
I
engaged
was
to a
having a
woman for
conversation
3
today
years and
about
you still haven't
this.
got married, y'all should break up.
no. I'm having a conversation about this today.
Uh-oh.
When we look at these incidences with professional athletes and coaches and highly competitive human beings who have a lack of self-control, is it
Good.
a culture problem in the sports community that allows people to act in a certain manner, and then we're surprised when they cross a line that we don't want them to cross?
No.
Hold up. Think
But
about
wait,
think about
wait, Jawan
Bill
Juwan
Belichick,
Howard slapped another
Popovich.
grown man last year during a game.
I
Coach
think
Krzyzewski, Roy Williams.
I'm
They
saying
never hit
so.
people.
No,
I'm
but dude, this is a whole new age of people. We're talking this age, our generation, the generation before us, have zero self fucking control.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
okay,
problem.
Sean McVay,
It's Sean McVay, Bob
Cliff
Knight.
Kingsbury,
Bob Knight throws
Kyle Shanahan.
chairs.
Kyle
I
Shanahan.
mean,
I
I
think
don't think to your point, I don't think it's a culture problem. I think it's a personal problem.
I think
John
I
Gruden,
understand, but
great
is
guy.
it something that we could change as like saying, hey, we're not going to condone this behavior on a
very
sports
easy.
field or a court?
don't give them
and-
so much money that they feel like they're untouchable and don't like worship them.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that's what it
Deshaun
You-
Watson.
You blow what? So yes
Still
and
playing.
no. My
Still
answer,
playing.
Shane, to you is yes
Still
and no.
playing.
There is an ego problem that gets blown up once all of this money and
Yep.
the power and all that stuff
Do
comes
whatever
in,
they
that
want.
then it makes the good people better, right? The athletes that when they make their millions that were already good people that then spend their money wisely and donate and like do great things with their money, they become better. And the people that were already possibly kind of a scumbag when they were, not the top, when they get to the top, they become even more scumbag. So
I
like,
agree with that.
Look at like Marshawn Lynch. If you want to take a poll of who should have turned out a shitty human, Marshawn would have been on the top of the category. Marshawn Lynch is a great businessman. All accounts is a great human being. Like
Hasn't he
puts
been in
that
trouble, Shane?
he puts that
Yeah.
theory to
He's
rest.
been in trouble multiple times, Shane.
Well, for some drugs. I
He
mean,
just
beat
for
up a
DUI.
guy on the subway.
Just for DUI.
yeah, just minor incidences. Who cares?
Did he not? I thought he beat the shit out of a guy on the train.
he also
Nah.
definitely had
Well-
a joyriding incident in his time as Cal.
The guy wouldn't give him his Skittles.
Hey, I'm just saying. There's
Sean,
no.
have you ever
there's
had a
just-
night on Hennessy? You never know what decisions it'll make
There's
you make.
just-
Oh, I know some Hennessy, boy.
I've
hey,
never had it, so I don't know, but I know Marshawn likes it.
I've been to Marlin,
DUI
Texas. There's
Was
plenty of
arrested
Hennessy.
for DUI with a stolen vehicle.
Yeah.
Hey, that's minor incident. That was a miscommunication between him and the owner of the vehicle.
Shane
It's
said,
minor inconvenience.
I think
Shane
that
said, in all accounts, a great human being. DUI with a stolen vehicle.
It's a minor
like-
inconvenience. Minor.
but like look at LeBron James, for example. LeBron
Yes,
understands that
In
his
all
money,
accounts, good human being. Yeah.
and he does great. I mean, it's just one of those things that it's basically a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
There's very few just averagely good people, rich people. They're either probably awful and doing things that they're not supposed to be doing with their money and power, or they're using
Jeffrey
their money and
Epstein.
power for good things.
Chris Beard was probably a bad guy, and now we know he's
I
bad.
mean,
No. He's
he's
always had a temper.
Chris Beard has had
That's
some problems with temper
obvious.
and alcohol for a
Yes.
long time. So
I always
No.
look at him when he's walking on the court, and I'm like, I think that dude's had a couple beers before he
No,
walked on
he
the court.
He
No.
always looks like he's drunk, dude.
he said he had quit having beers. He said he quit
No,
having
this
beers
season,
last year. I
this
know,
season
this
he said he was
season-
going to start.
But last season he was no beers.
Hey,
Well, he should have
the
probably kept to that rule.
Yeah,
the University of Texas is not shy about hiring recovering alcoholics. So
That's a fact. In
I
fact, they
mean,
kind of
Shane-
pride themselves
Shane,
on
your
on
take
hiring
is really bad,
alcoholics.
dude. This guy's been under investigation for 10 years for multiple assault charges.
he's a good guy. Has he been taken to court for it?
He's been charged
Well-
in several different counties.
I hate to break it to you, Shane. No one gets taken to court. All right,
Well,
take it.
hey,
that's
I'm
enough
gonna
about
pause
Chris
on
Beard.
that take.
We'll keep y'all-
Walk that
we'll
one
keep-
back.
we'll keep everyone updated on the Chris Beard situation as it unfolds. It's only been out for about 24 hours now. So, all right. Football.
We're
We're
ready.
finally getting. Well, we started with Mike Leach. He's football. So there we go. We're
And we
back to
talked
football.
about the Army Navy game.
There we go. College football. I don't care about any of the crappy bowl games for now. Let's talk about the playoffs as they get set. The lines are currently Georgia -6.5 over Ohio State, Michigan -7.5 over TCU. In my personal opinion, those are both super short.
Yeah.
I agree. I'll take both those favorites.
I will take chalk all day.
I obviously
You're
will
gonna-
take Georgia. Here's my thing about TCU.
They suck.
They seem to find their way back from any deficit they find themselves in.
Because they play
And
bad
they seem
teams.
to just find a
Yeah.
way to win football games.
But Michigan is a different beast.
I understand that.
Big 12.
Dude, TCU might not score.
I don't agree with that.
I'm sorry.
I actually
they-
think
TCU might not score 20. they might-
Ohio State is the one that has a chance if anyone
Yeah.
does.
Ohio State can
Oh.
score. But I'm
Yeah.
still taking Georgia.
I'm still
I am
taking
too.
Georgia and Michigan, but I don't think TCU is going to be just dog shit.
I think they lose by at least 14.
Like,
too.
are we
I
talking
think-
like 14 as in like they're down by 7 and they give up a last drive touchdown to go down by 14 in the last
Well, I mean,
I think it's
That's not-
never in doubt.
I think TCU holds Michigan in the first quarter, and then Michigan dominates second and third quarter. Fourth quarter, TCU kind of brings it back a little bit as Michigan's playing kind of soft. So I think they're down 3 scores in the third quarter, and then they lose by 10 to 14 points.
I think I easily can see that happening for sure.
I hope it's not. I hope both games are close. I hope they're both great. But
No,
I don't think
actually-
either. I don't
I'm
think either
actually
game's gonna
on
be close.
the train of Georgia beating the dog shit out of Ohio State.
I disagree. I think Ohio State can hang.
I think
Dude, that
I think
defense
Georgia-
is so
I think
good.
Georgia got totally screwed in this whole situation.
for sure.
That
We've already
defense
talked
is
about
so
this.
good.
Ohio State should be the number 3 seed. They are a
100%.
better team than TCU. And statistically, we have seen a lot of times the 4 seed gets dog walked. And so I think TCU is many levels below the other 3 teams.
No, I mean I agree, but I wouldn't be surprised if TCU takes Michigan pretty close. My
I would be
only thing
shocked.
is it really
Corum
depends
gonna be
on
healthy?
if TCU can control the tempo of the game. If they can get Michigan to try to play their style and like fast, if Michigan doesn't rely on just running the ball straight down their throat,
I mean,
then
I
they
don't
don't have a problem.
is Blake Corum going to be healthy? I mean, it's going to be like
No, I don't think
he,
so.
He
but
opted out. He's not.
I don't
playing.
think so. But
Okay.
that backup kid was just as good.
no. That's
that
what I'm
kid
saying.
was
But I
good.
mean, the
Really, it
crazy
comes down to their offensive line. Their
the
offensive
crazy
line
thing
is
about playoffs is that they get 5 weeks to get healthy.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
he's
but
still
I think
out.
he opted out. I think he said he's not coming back. Oh man,
I know. Well, I know the Ohio State receiver did, and so did
Yeah,
the
but
their
he
running
wasn't
back.
going to play. He wasn't going to be healthy enough to play. That's why he opted out. Like, unless you are hurt, you better not be opting out of playoff games. Or that
Agreed.
should kill your draft stock.
Let's see if he's playing. Yeah, he's done for the season. He had knee surgery.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I
But
don't pay
Their
enough-
offensive
that
offensive
kid-
line is freaking.
No, their
grown,
offensive
man.
line is freaking great. Their defense is awesome.
Yeah,
I really think it's going to come down to the fact Michigan's just going to
they're just
play
throwing
in
them
the
in.
trenches all day, and
Now-
TCU's going to get dog tired, and they fall apart. In
For-
third.
Exactly what happened to Ohio State.
For the Michigan game, I will say I will take the under in that game.
What's
My
the
only-
It's hot. I mean, TCU has a good defense. They have a good
yeah?
physical defense. TCU's offense is really bad, in my opinion. They're really
Bro,
not that
just throw
good.
that shit up to old boy. Just
Is he really that good? though?
yeah,
I mean,
he's pretty damn good.
The over under is 58.5.
Oh, I'll take the under. I thought it was gonna be like 51, 50.
Now,
Eh,
Georgia, Ohio
I'd take
State.
the over.
Georgia, Ohio State. I might be looking at the over. I do
What
think
are they
Ohio
at?
State will be able to score. It's 61
What are
and a
they-
half.
I was gonna say they gotta be at like 63.
It's college
I don't know.
football,
They
so-
struggled against Michigan's defense. Georgia's defense is
I think Michigan might have. I don't know. I think Michigan's defense is comparable to Georgia's for sure. I don't think Georgia's defense is not as good as they were last year.
Yeah, I'm not
No.
saying Ohio State's going to score 40, but I've seen
They
Ohio
only
State.
got to score
25.
I've seen
Yeah, I was
Ohio
gonna say
State try to play
24.
defense, and they can't play defense. So I'm saying Georgia's going to score 40.
No,
yeah, I
Ohio-
agree.
That means Ohio State's just got to score 22, and I think they could put up 22.
They'll
I
put
think
up 24 points easy.
Georgia
It
might put up 49.
Ohio
It-
State secondary is awful.
I could
That's
see
big deal.
I
They
could
also
see
can't stop
Georgia,
the run.
Ohio State. Yeah, no. I could see that game being close going into half at like a 21 to 17 game at half. And then you're hitting the over all day long on that. I mean,
I can
that's
see
easy.
it close
Also-
at half. I don't see it close at the end of the game.
No,
I'm feeling
I
pr-
just think it'll be a close half.
I'm feeling pretty good that Georgia also scores a defensive touchdown in that game, which is always good for the over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Lock
don't
it
know.
in.
I actually think Ohio State has a legitimate shot against Georgia.
I think it depends on how well their offensive line holds up. If they're gonna win, it's gonna be a shootout. There's no way
Yep.
Yeah.
that their defense
not
is
gonna
gonna
stop
keep
Georgia.
Georgia.
Agreed.
So
And
My
they're going to score
problem-
100.
So I
They're
think
going to
that's
score
why I
100
like the
points in
over.
that.
They're
That's
gonna
why I
have
like
to
the
score
over.
a lot.
My problem with everyone saying like Ohio State isn't that good, they played Michigan good for about 3.5 quarters, and then they
No.
self-destructed
Ohio
for
State.
Yeah,
half
they did.
Ohio
quarter.
State is good. I think
That's why
Georgia got like if we went back
they
and
got
looked at
royally
if we
screwed.
went back and looked at everything besides probably the first year of the playoffs. This is the worst situation that the number 1 seed has ever got.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably
Also, both times that it happened, the number 4 seed that gets this is Ohio State.
Yeah, that was 2016, 17.
Wasn't it the first year of the playoffs with Alabama
was
and Ohio
20
State?
I think it was 2016 when Ohio State made it and they won the national title on number
Yeah.
4.
And then Zeke got the nice big contract from the Cowboys and ruined the Dallas Cowboys.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Mike
that,
McCarthy.
let's talk about NFL football. Fantastic. All right. We already said this. It was a weird week in the NFL, but that's why we love the NFL. Any given Sunday, baby.
That's it.
Our boy from the Texas A&M University, Dan Campbell, has the Lions playing like some dogs.
Lions might be
That-
good next year.
Won 5 out of their
That's
6.
it.
I mean, if they didn't just go on a stinker of a run at the beginning of the year,
They'd be in the
They'd be in
playoffs.
it.
they'd be in the
Yeah.
playoffs. I still
If they
think
went
they're gonna make
out,
the
they still
playoffs.
could. Yeah, if they went out, they still could.
And they play the
The
Jets,
Jets
the
without Mike
Pats.
White, probably.
Yep.
The Jets
Yeah,
without
the
Mike White.
Pats, then the Bills.
I think they can still lose one and still
No.
make it.
And
They
I
don't play
think-
the Bills. They don't play the Bills.
They don't play the Bills. The
already
Lions
played the
schedule's
Bills.
easy.
Who?
Yeah, they already
Okay,
played
so
the
who do they
Bills.
have left? I thought they played
They
the
have
Bills.
the Panthers, the Jets, which the Panthers are also kind of playing some good football right now, but
They are.
their defense will destroy Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got it right here.
If only they had my boy Baker. Yeah.
They play the Lions this week at home, and the Lions are very bad on the road and very bad outside. Then they play Jacksonville also at home, which Jacksonville is got to be the worst team to bet on because they could
Yeah.
look amazing one week and then just like dog crap
Terrible
the
the
next
next
week. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
I hate the Jags right now.
They play the Seahawks in Seattle, and they still have to play Miami week 18.
That's the
this?
line schedule.
That's the Lions schedule. Just
I
kidding.
think
That's
even
the
if
Jets
they
schedule.
lose-
That's the Jets
Okay, I was
schedule.
gonna say,
I
that didn't sound
apologize.
Yeah,
right.
give me the Lions. I was gonna say that.
They play the Jets at the Jets. They play
Yeah.
the Panthers in Carolina. They play Chicago and Green Bay. Now, 3 of their last 4 games are on the road, and the Lions are very bad on the road. They averaged 33 points at home this season and only
wasn't even-
18 on the road.
I wasn't even close on their schedule. I thought they played. I was way
I
off.
mean, the Bears are going to be playing for a draft pick.
Yeah.
The Packers are probably also going to. The Packers are already going to be eliminated.
They're bad.
Aaron Rodgers did say once the Packers are eliminated from the playoffs,
He's
he
done.
is not playing.
Yeah.
So we'll see Jordan Love.
Which that's smart thinking, right? On Aaron's
I
part.
mean,
like
yeah, when you're an old QB, I mean, the only reason Tom Brady's still playing is because they're still ahead in their division, which is just baffling.
the NFC South is trash. I mean, we can all as
Nobody
bad as
wants
it
to win that division.
pain
Oh,
stinks me.
Come
to-
on,
Okay, but
Panthers, I
hey,
believe.
we were in the same boat last year or 2 years ago with the NFC East. So
Yeah,
But at least
the
we have
difference
history.
is that the NFC South still has a team quarterbacked by Tom Brady, and that terrifies me for the playoffs.
you let Tom in the dance. That's what you don't want to do. You
Especially
want to
because
keep him,
they would play the Cowboys in the first game.
and he'll
So
win.
then- The New York
Take it-
Giants and the Washington Commanders are 7-5, and Detroit is 6-7.
Detroit, if they
But
win out,
Washington
they make the
and New
playoffs.
York play each other this week.
That's what I'm saying. So if one of them is going to be 7-6. If
Or
Detroit's
they're
7-7,
are they
they're
gonna
half a
tie
game.
again? Are they gonna tie
It's the
again?
dang tie. The dang ties throw everything off.
Yeah,
Did
especially because those two teams played for a tie, and that's just the
Yeah.
worst.
did y'all hear on another podcast today? Dan Campbell was talking about the play to who was it? Penny's.
Panay Sewell.
Yeah. And he said he was watching the wave go around the stadium, and he was just extravaganced by that ordeal. And OC or whoever he is comes on the headset and says, "Hey, we're gonna run this play." And he said, "Do you like that, Dan?" And he said, "Yeah, I love it." And he said, I was watching this the whatever it's called, and all of a sudden I look up and we're throwing it to a lineman. I said, "What the F are we doing right now?" He said, "Well, it worked out, so whatever." But
They said he didn't actually hear the play. He just
he was just
I
watching the
couldn't hear
wave.
it. I just went. It's freaking hilarious.
Same with the fake punt. Apparently, he was saying in the microphone like, "Don't do it." And I guess the guy on the other end heard "do it." And so when they did it, Dan Campbell was like, "What the hell are we doing?"
I love the
Detroit
chaos.
Lions shit. That's the most Detroit Lions shit ever, though. Like,
I'm not gonna
their
lie.
communication doesn't work and all that.
Dan Campbell looked like an idiot today in his interviews that he did, because your job as the head coach is to be in control of all those. And there was two clutch moments where he was just like, "Yeah, I had no idea what was going on."
Yeah,
And
no,
like,
I agree. I thought the
that's
same thing.
he's already got the why can I think the reputation. There you go.
Yeah.
He's got a reputation of just being a meathead, just like
Yeah.
gets the people. And yeah,
Dumbass.
he made it sound like he's just a meathead who has no idea what's going on, and his coordinators, like, his job is just being like the strength and
Standing there.
conditioning coach. He's like,
Yeah.
"Let's go," and like, yeah, his coordinators are the ones who actually know football.
That is Dan Campbell.
Which I was trying to give him some props. I'm like, man, yeah, he's actually kind of smart. No, he is legitimately a big doofus, but he's got those boys playing hard. So good.
He's
for
got
him.
him humming.
Hey, right now he's biting so many freaking kneecaps.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
I
and
love it. I think it's hilarious.
he is working his way to an extension like you would never believe.
Hey,
Oh.
you know what? I will say this: he is a perfect fit for Detroit. That's
He
a tough
is.
city up there, and I'm glad to see them on the rise. I'm also glad.
Also,
I took their over in wins this year, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
what was their dang secondary coach doing? They go on that like 1-5
Yeah.
streak. They fired the secondary coach,
And
and now they're winning every game.
Dude,
they
their
rattled
defense
off
was so
6
bad.
wins. Was it
It
5 or
was.
6 wins in a row?
I thought Aaron Glenn was going to get fired, and I felt bad. I was like, "Oh, another Aggie gone."
Hey, I will say
Fired.
this: I love
Aaron Glenn
the fact
survives.
that Jamison Williams is in the NFL now.
Yeah.
He was so good in college. Alabama probably wins the national championship if he doesn't get hurt. And it's good to see him first. Is that his first catch in the NFL?
First catch.
First catch in the NFL, bomb touchdown, wide open.
Yep.
Love it.
Jared Goff. What is going on with Jared Goff too?
If
You
Jared
remember
Goff,
how to play football?
no, if Jared Goff is in a dome
He's
and
very
has
good.
time to throw, watch him against the Jets this week, and I'm afraid Jared Goof is going to show back up. But I hope not. I hope the Lions make the Super Bowl. Also, I really don't want the Jets to make the Super Bowl because I think they could beat the Chiefs.
The
Not-
Super
sorry,
That'd be in the
Bowl?
Super Bowl.
AFC Championship.
Sorry, playoffs. I meant
I
playoffs.
was
I
gonna
meant
say,
playoffs.
God darn.
Dude, I got the Super Bowl on my mind every minute of every day right now. I'm trying to think of every possible scenario on how the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And
Must be nice.
not
I'm just
looking
looking
great.
I'm just looking for a draft pick.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Dennis Allen would stop saying that Andy Dalton is going to be your quarterback, like every week, everyone's like, "Please, Dennis, anyone but Andy Dalton." He's like, "No, Andy Dalton's still our quarterback."
Is this
Why?
a Gio Reyna type situation where freaking Dennis
Yeah,
Allen
what did
is
Jameis
just,
do?
Yeah, what Hey, did you see what
Ooh.
Saints didn't play this weekend, but last weekend they're walking down. I probably brought this up, but they're walking down the sideline, and James just totally ignores Andy Dalton. I'm like, what
we
is
need
going
to-
on here?
Do we need to throw the allegation out there? Is Dennis Allen partial to a white quarterback?
Hey, whoa.
Another
Like-
Aggie racist.
Like what's going on? I mean, Andy Dalton hasn't shown you anything recently that shows he
Hey.
should be still the quarterback.
I'm the first one that would say I would rather Andy Dalton be my quarterback, not because of color of skin. But at this rate, I'm going, give Jameis the ball. Give me the 30 interceptions, but give me the 40 TDs. I don't care. Just
Also, Dennis
me
Allen
something else.
can't go to hit. He's like, all right, I know Andy Dalton sucks, and I really want to put in Taysom Hill, but I can't because then I owe him all that money.
Yeah, you can't. 70 million guaranteed right there if you let him play.
All right, I mentioned the Super Bowl because it's on my brain. The Eagles are winning
Well,
the
you-
Super Bowl, right?
No,
No.
boo.
Dude, the Eagles look real good. Jalen Hurts is clear. Jalen Hurts officially took the MVP lead this week on all
Yeah,
major
MVP's
sports.
dead.
All the major.
I'm still
sports
on
gambling.
I'm still on the Bills. And also this happens to be because I guess it was this weekend. One of their local reporters told Josh Allen that this doesn't look like an offense that can win a Super Bowl, and Josh Allen just said, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay, well, here we go. That was all the ammunition they needed."
I mean, that journalist was not wrong.
No,
Their
I
offense
agree.
has been terrible the last 4 weeks.
I agree, but is that really? Maybe he was doing it just to light a fire under his ass, but is that really something you tell a professional athlete?
I am terrified of the Bengals out of the AFC.
Well,
They look like they're turning it on.
Look good.
I mean, they've always been good. They've got a great defense. No one ever talks about their defense enough, and that their
They
defense
don't have a
does-
good offensive line. Their offensive line is not very good.
But
They've
they've played
been
a lot. They've
playing
played a lot
okay.
better recently.
They're getting better.
A lot
Yeah.
better is different than like winning Super Bowls.
Oh,
yeah,
agreed.
but with Joe Burrow, all you got to be, in my opinion, which is highly sophisticated, is okay as an offensive line. Just be okay, and he will win you football games.
Hold on.
I agree. I mean-
on their offensive line,
Crickets.
this week against the Cleveland Browns, they rushed for 136 yards, which is not bad.
No,
The week before that, they rushed for. Well, it was against the Chiefs, so probably 780 yards. Doesn't really count. 152. Like
not bad.
they're developing a run game, which is huge for Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
That-
if you
'cause-
can get Joe Burrow with some play action, he is
Oh.
deadly.
I mean, now the problem, and we will see if I'm sure they will be healthy by playoff times, but the T. Higgins really didn't play, and
He didn't play at
Boyd
all.
he played one
he-
snap.
Yeah.
One snap.
And Boyd went out injured. So if they don't have, if they've only got Chase, their
Yeah, they're
offense will
screwed.
will
Yeah.
become a problem. But
And T. Higgins almost lost me the damn fantasy football game. That
are
would've
you a
lost me
part
my
of the
full
fantasy
seed.
football people that are pissed?
Oh,
I
you want to know what really pisses me off? You want to know what really pissed me off about
I would love
fantasy?
to.
D. Hopkins puts on Twitter yesterday, who needs me to go off for fantasy? I got you, dog. And then he fucking sucked.
He
He had
fumbled
that
too.
goddamn fumble for a touchdown. That almost fucked me. I was pissed. And I was playing my wife this week, and I needed to win, so I kept my first seed. I won by like 0.4 points. I barely
still
squeaked
won.
by my wife.
I liked the people asking for Zach Taylor and the Bengals to be fined because they took T. Higgins off the injury report and then he didn't play. I love it. I love the people who take fantasy football so intense.
Dude, I
As if
have
any of
a
the
lot
coaches and players
Yes.
care.
I have
Act
a
like
lot of money
anyone-
on the line for fantasy football. I
Hey,
take it
Jonathan,
serious.
No
guarantee
one
you that
in the
they got more money on
NFL
it.
gives a shit about your fantasy
Hey,
football.
D-Hop
Not true.
cares.
D-Hop tweeted
D-Hop
about it.
cares.
And guess what? He didn't do nothing still.
Oh, he
I'm a-
still ended up with like 15 points, but like
I
that
can't
fumble
wait.
really pissed me the fuck off.
I can't wait till like someone tweets something like that, and then the NFL like calls them for tampering or something because they're like playing for fantasy football, and it's gonna be something stupid like that. Somebody's gonna get butthurt, and they're gonna be like,
someone.
actually, they changed the outcome of the football game for fantasy football reasons. And it's gonna be
Blake, you were with me last year when I told Kyler Murray I needed him to have a good fantasy football year, right?
you were talking
I
to
don't
Kyler
know.
Murray?
At the UNT
No, I wouldn't
game.
know. I wouldn't
I
know.
thought it was you. Who was I with?
Corey, probably.
Jake. I was with Jake.
I don't know, but Kyler's got plenty of time to play the new Call of Duty now.
Dude.
so.
Yep.
I said
Fuck.
this was best case scenario
Hey.
for him.
I
I was gonna
traded
say-
for him this like a month and a half ago too.
I'd say that was the last on my list for the Sunday slate, but I mean, I do feel bad for Kyler.
I do.
That was his best case scenario. He got paid, and he could just sit there and play Call of Duty, and no one can say
My
nothing.
boy
to him.
Clifton ended up getting fired.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean, he probably should be getting fired. He's really not that good of a head coach.
He wasn't good at Tech. He wasn't good. Well,
They had like a
Well,
They had like a 9-game home losing streak. You should get fired for that.
No, that's bad.
Kyler.
You should
Kyler
not be
also
losing
should-
that many games at home.
They should not have given Kyler the contract they gave him. I'm sorry.
No.
He
No.
he has not proved that he's worth that money ever.
They still hang on to the like 6-7 or whatever it was 6-0 start last year.
Yeah.
I
And don't get me wrong, they started out great, but then once again, when the new COD came out, what happened?
No, man. Also, why is it every year the Cardinals are just the oldest team in the NFL? They just
They keep
well,
they pick
have
up guys in the
JJ Watt
offseason.
just sitting there. So
I know, but they
that's
keep going
their
and getting
age.
these. They keep going out and getting these really old players, which is
Like,
like
guys
they-
that should have hung
They
it
thought
up.
they were the LA Rams for a second, but the LA Rams did it a little better.
No, but the Rams got older guys that still had some left in the tank. The Cardinals go
Exactly.
get old guys that have nothing left.
They were like the Rams were like, let me go get Von Miller, and the Cardinals were like, oh, we'll match you. We'll get JJ Watt.
yeah.
Well, JJ Watt's been hurt 20 times.
yeah.
Dude, towards
Nope.
it. There's
Hey.
no. I mean, he tears a pectoral every single season.
Dude,
Yeah. Yep.
so does his brother.
All big white
Yeah.
dudes tear pectorals.
Not AJ Hawk.
He probably tore a pectoral once
Oh,
or
I
twice in his
guess no.
career.
Sorry, TJ tore his bicep this
He
year.
tore
not
his
pec.
bicep.
I
Sa-
apologize.
But who? What other players ever done that in their career?
I mean,
He's
probably
too
plenty.
big, bro.
Probably plenty.
You
Yeah,
tear your
but
bicep?
someone
Also,
Wait, didn't
someone
Ray,
that-
no. Ray Lewis tore his bicep.
yeah, I say
Maybe
it probably
so.
happens
Ray
quite
Lewis
often.
is the reason. Ray
Uh-oh.
Lewis is, if I remember
Uh-oh.
correctly, Ray Lewis's torn bicep is the reason that deer antler spray is illegal in professional sports.
Ray Lewis is also a murderer. So.
Oh yeah.
Because he was taking antler spray
Yes.
to help it's like a natural HGH, and it like regrew his bicep in like no time.
He's right in this. Yes, because
I wouldn't
Nice.
trust a guy that murdered someone.
They
so.
literally they banned it right after he came back. The
Yes,
guy
they
came back
did.
after like
Yes.
2 months.
Yeah,
Like,
It-
it was
it
like,
showed
how
up
the
on the
fuck are
ban
you
list.
okay?
I mean, TJ Watt came back after about 2 months this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said he was going to be out for the season originally, I think.
But
Yeah.
I'm
Look out-
pretty
look
sure
out
that
for that.
happened in like 2012, 2013.
Yeah,
look out for that antler spray.
That's
To
true.
expect your comeback.
Dude, after that, I think antler spray like production went up like a million times. Like everybody was trying to get antler spray.
speaking
got
of white guys with muscular injuries,
I thought we were talking about
Did-
steroids.
did Christian McCaffrey just like totally like be like, hey, I've been screwing you all along, Carolina, because
He's a freak, dude.
I mean,
he didn't want to ruin
He
his
ain't-
career in Carolina.
yeah, he's like, oh wait, I'm on a Super Bowl contender now. I don't need to have muscular injuries anymore.
You can run it back. Go look at the like first episode. I said it. When healthy, that is the coldest fucking dude in the NFL. That
Oh,
dude
no.
is fucking
Heck no.
stellar, bro.
I mean, he's amazing, but the
He's
coldest dude in the
stellar.
NFL. I don't know if you've seen Tyreek Hill just make grown men look at like children. He picked up a fumble. and-
That was baffling.
That
was
was my
baffling.
fantasy gripe. That is my fantasy gripe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I got
Paige
he
had him
scored
on
on me that
fantasy.
way. Yeah, that murdered me. And
I
the
got
fact that as soon
Tyreek
as
on
he
my
picked up the
fantasy
ball,
team. I love it.
as soon as he picked up the ball, you just said, "Oh, he's gone.
Oh, for sure. I
Nobody's
mean,
catching that." Man.
I mean,
No one even knew what was happening.
I was gonna say you could have put so many people there and they would have been gone. Like that, but
How was that
Tyreek
ball
is
not down? Where no one had
Tyreek is a
possession?
different character. And then Tua, you see I saw and I don't know if it was the same play just because it was just a screen on Tua, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, fuck." And he knew what was happening. He knew Tyreek's gone, like
That was their only offense in the first half.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was their only offense the entire game. The only other offense they got was the big bomb play to Tyreek. Tyreek makes grown men look like children.
No,
He's
Mike,
so fast.
Mike
His
McDaniels,
speed is
I'm
stupid.
still in on.
It's not
I'm
just
still-
his speed though. He is so
No,
laterally
he's so
quick.
talented.
no, he's
Yes.
quick.
He's
But
side to
he-
usually people are straight runners or quick, and he is
And he's-
both, and that is rare.
Yeah, but Christian McCaffrey's just
No,
Now,
I would
much
rather.
talent.
I'd rather.
so much
McCaffrey-
talent in one human
McCaffrey
being.
gets an advantage because he's a running back. He gets matched up on linebackers. And
Linebackers,
McCaffrey is
yes.
the best wide receiver, whatever. So he's the best receiving running back of all time.
Yeah,
he's so good out of the backfield. Like his catch for the touchdown on like the
Dude.
wheel route, like was
Stellar.
incredible. Like, I mean, McCaffrey's a beast, but
Yeah, but he's lined up against linebackers. Like he should.
he gets an advantage based off who he's lined up against. Tyreek makes people that are supposed to like their only job is to take him away,
They don't.
and they do not.
Can we
I-
talk about who was throwing the ball to Christian
Oh,
McCaffrey?
that's number 3 on the list. Mr. Irrelevant is better than Tom Brady. That's
My
our
dude.
untrue fact of the week. Brock Purdy is amazing.
He's
He
a
was
dog.
playing his fucking mind off.
Also, while we're on the topic, we mentioned it earlier. You know who's got some bowls of steel? Brock Purdy has 2
Yeah.
weeks in a row just stared down the barrel and delivered a strike down the field, and that's
Just
amazing
beautiful.
for a rookie.
This
That's
is
so
this is
good.
why you don't waste a number 1 pick on a quarterback because it's such a crapshoot.
Yep.
Such a crapshoot.
I
Like
mean,
the dude,
Before
he's gonna
this
come
week,
back to
did you know who
reality.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I was like, we
Purdy
still need some
was?
film on Brock Purdy. Like once teams
oh, he'll
have some
come
film
back
on him,
down.
he's gonna come crashing down.
He's looked more competent than like Zach Wilson. He's looked way more competent than Zach Wilson ever has. Trevor Lawrence, I would argue he looked more confident than Trevor Lawrence has in most of his career. Granted, he was with Urban
Trevor
Meyer,
Lawrence
so we'll
playing
give him
good
the.
football right
I'll
now.
say I
He-
disagree
every
with both
other
things you
week-
playing
said.
good football right now.
But there will be some weeks where the dude can't hit the side of a barn.
I see, but here's the problem: you have extra tape on them. You can pick Zach Wilson's 2 best games and Trevor Lawrence's 2 best games, and they will be comparable to what Brock Purdy has done.
I would
But-
trade you Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton for Brock Purdy right now.
Hey, that's the
I will be-
overreaction we love to see right there. But y'all are
I
getting-
would.
It might be
If-
better for the future of the Saints if they could pull that
now,
off right
hey,
now.
you know what? We'll see right now this week against the Seahawks. I believe
Yep.
in Seattle.
It's in Seattle. Yeah, it's in Seattle.
In
You know
Seattle,
what's great?
without Debo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad. That's a bad
That was
loss.
bad.
I
We'll
felt
see
so
it.
bad for him.
I mean, the Seahawks defense kind of sucks right now. So I mean, like, they should be fine. He's still got Christian McCaffrey. I love Brandon Ayuk. He's a great wide receiver.
He's
a great.
good.
Sorry, he's a great number 2 wide receiver. He's not a number 1. He's a great number 2. Still
They
got
have
George
so many
Kittle.
weapons, though.
Here's
like-
what's great. Literally last week's podcast, we went through mediocre and bad quarterbacks that could win a Super Bowl with the 49ers. And
Brock
now
Purdy
we
is
have
possible.
a rookie. We're about
Yeah.
to see what they can do.
He's
mean-
looked pretty good in there.
He's on the
Hey,
best
dude.
squad in football. Could you
A
imagine?
few of those balls were unbelievably
Could-
thrown.
Tom Brady was the last pick in the draft, and who else was the last pick in the draft?
Tom
Brock
Brady was not
Purdy.
the last pick in the draft.
He was not the last pick in the draft. He
Okay,
was a
damn
seventh
near.
rounder, but come on, Shane. We can't be spewing misinformation here.
Yeah, come on.
Hey,
Speaking of
damn
misinformation,
near.
Fake news.
speaking of fake news and misinformation, the guy who was he wasn't vaccinated. Well, what did he say? He's what did
Cole
Aaron Rodgers say
Beasley?
last year?
Immunized. He was
Immunized.
immunized.
Could you imagine if San Francisco would have got Aaron Rodgers this year?
Oh gosh.
I mean, they would have went 19-0. I mean,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, I hate him so much because he's from the Denver. I hated his father. He's a good football coach, though. He's a great football coach.
I gotta think they're gonna try to get somebody this offseason.
No, Kyle Shanahan really likes Trey Lance for some reason. That's the only thing that I don't get why. I don't get why he doesn't like Jimmy G. Jimmy G just wins football
But,
games.
but as good of a coach as Kyle Shanahan is, what does he not see in Jimmy G that the rest of us are like, look, he's a
I
good
don't get
quarterback.
it.
Yeah.
It's that throw in the Super Bowl.
No.
It's that throw
Jimmy
in the
G
Super
is
Bowl.
not a good quarterback, but if he plays for San Francisco, he's a good quarterback.
Yes,
It's
yes.
That throw in the
I-
Super Bowl, I'm telling you, it gives him nightmares.
I'm real.
So does he-
Hey, that's my happiest vision in the world is that ball sailing 10 yards over
I
his
see it
head.
right now. Yeah, I see it literally right now.
But do we really trust Trey Lance over Jimmy G?
No, I think Trey
G
Lance
is-
is going to be terrible.
Once again,
Yeah.
Trey Lance is the classic untapped potential guy versus like proven commodity. Like Trey Lance played 7 college football games, played about 3 high school games. He's played 10 games in his entire life.
You know who
Turns
would
He's
be,
into a
Jordan-
first round pick.
Hey, Tua would be
He's
great
Jordan
on the
Love.
49ers.
He's Jordan Love. is
I
what
like
he is.
Jordan Love more than I like Trey Lance.
Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna find out about Jordan Love in about 3 weeks.
Year. All right. We mentioned him earlier. But we brought up Tyreek. Are the Dolphins on a slide right now?
I'm
I
still
don't
in
know.
on
I'm still
I'm
in.
still in on Mike McDaniels. I am out on Tua Tagovailoa.
That was Tua's worst game, obviously.
I'm not in, but I'm not out. I'm just kind of
Their
don't
defense
care.
is bad. I've
3
been
of
saying
17
it, man.
to start the game.
Their
3 of
defense is
17.
bad. Also, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring it up later. A different topic. But
I
can
love
Tyreek
Mike
make any
McDaniels.
quarterback look good? Because Tua's numbers would have been abysmal if Tyreek didn't exist.
Hey,
Well, he started
If-
3 of
okay.
17, so
He also
if Jameis Winston had Tyreek Hill, he would be MVP caliber.
Oh, I mean,
no,
he would
Jameis
go-
wouldn't see him. Jameis wouldn't
Yeah.
see him.
Hey,
I mean,
he
out of his
got he
vision.
got LASIK. He's good.
the
We're
Chargers.
good.
The Chargers showed the NFL how to beat the Dolphins, and they did it. I don't get why every team hasn't done this. Tua can only make one throw. It's
Whoa.
that skinny post over the middle, but it's always
He
open.
loves it.
Tua cannot throw the ball outside of the numbers. His arm is too weak. It was even in a dome last. I mean, it's an open dome in SoFi,
Still
but
a
like
dome.
he can't throw deep and he can't throw outside the numbers. So if you take away the middle, which the Chargers did, Tua looks really, really bad.
I'm
I
still
just
in on the Dolphins.
I still
But-
love Mike McDaniels. That's
Hey,
my
we're gonna
problem.
find
Mike
out this week.
McDaniels.
Tua is historically bad in cold weather, and he's
Yep,
going up
and-
to Buffalo this week.
I
So we're gonna
I read
see.
today it could be 7 inches of snow.
Really? I
This-
didn't see it being that bad. I saw it was.
That's what I saw today.
I saw it was like a low of 29, and that it was going to be snowing.
This
Dude.
is where we'll find out if the freezer.
If that freaking screws me because they get
practices-
another 7 inches of snow and they move the game again, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh wait, it might come Sunday night and Monday, the big one. Oh no, it says potential lake effect snow
Oh
could
my
impact the
gosh!
Bills game.
If I get, I mean that's even better for me. I mean, hey, if you need to know this, the Buffalo Bills are one of the best under teams in football. They are such an easy bet for the under. They are 9-3. Your other teams you're looking for are the Denver Broncos, who are 11-2 to the under this year.
Imagine why.
Hey, I got hurt real bad on the under in the Denver Broncos game this past weekend, though. It was not good. Denver almost covered the over on their own because the Chiefs' defense is that bad.
Okay, but I do got a question after watching that game. I assume we all did. You can't keep paying Russell Wilson this kind of like you
What do
got to
mean?
just
Russell
cut
Wilson balled out that game.
No, I get that, but you can't pay that man this kind of money. Like,
It doesn't
He balled
matter.
out for like
can't.
one quarter.
No,
Yeah.
I mean he had a really rough first quarter and he had a really good second and third quarter and then he got hurt.
Okay, but that's
Oh,
what
that
I'm
was
saying.
bad.
This
was
man
bad.
this man is guaranteed $230 million, I think it is.
I mean that.
You
Hey,
can't.
thank Kirk Cousins for that.
No, well, yeah, I mean, I am a very noted Kirk Cousins is a G on the pay scale, but you can't, as probably one of the richest owners in the NFL, you've got to just
He is
cut
the
your
richest
losses.
owner in American sports, I believe.
Yeah, you just
Um,
cut your losses. Sorry. Bye.
I will say shout out to my mother-in-law for being born because we were at her birthday. And so I left when the score was 20-0. And then I saw when we got to her birthday, it was 27-0 and life was good. And I did not have to like watch live as Mahomes and the Chiefs defense just like threw the game away. I would have smashed every television I could find watching the second half of that football game
Because all of a
they
sudden
were
they couldn't do anything.
so bad. Up 27-0. Andy Reid ran the ball twice
Yeah, that's pitiful.
while his quarterback threw 3 picks. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
give Pacheco the ball. Whatever. That's the Chiefs thing. We'll get. I wanted to go away from our teams one last time. Panthers interim coach Steve Wilkes, whatever his first name is, Wilkes said, and no one said anything about this, but I heard his interview and it caught my ear. He specifically said that the Panthers front office was trying to tank and that he's proud of his team for playing well.
I read that and I was like, nobody's saying anything.
No one's saying anything about that. Like he specifically said, they're trying to tank. That's what Brian Flores got fired over that.
Yeah.
I read the same thing and I was literally like, how is this not like sounding some alarms here?
Yeah. I mean, we all knew it. We all knew it when you trade McCaffrey and did all that stuff.
Of course.
Like, obviously you were trying to tank.
Cut Baker.
But like coming out and saying it is that's a good move.
Nope. No,
Baker still looks bad.
No.
Baker's out here winning games, baby.
That's fine, Jonathan, but you can't have 2 quarterbacks that you're paying money on your contract at the same time.
And Sam Darnold looked pretty good.
That was coming when you got him in the first place.
Yeah, that's why it was a terrible move. You can't be paying Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield's contracts and having one of them sit on the bench. Like, that's just bad. That's your GM sucking at their job.
I thought Sam Darnold was going to be gone.
Oh, God.
No, don't oh God me. Baker Mayfield's leading a comeback in LA. Baby.
You know what? All right, let's talk about it.
Both those summer guns are trashier than shit. I'm sorry.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker was terrible for 56 minutes.
I won't do it.
He was terrible.
I will not do it to save our listeners' ears, but I would love to just get in Josh McDaniels' face and scream, how in the world do you lose to not only just a quarterback on 3 days on an offensive playbook, but it's Baker Mayfield on 3 days. Like, even if you lost to Tom Brady, if you lost to Tom Brady on a 3-day, I would still be furious.
Okay.
Without Aaron Donald, like, I don't get how the Raiders lost that game.
Because Josh McDaniels is not a good head football coach.
Their offense starts so strong and then just turned into nothing.
It's been that way all season.
I know.
Literally been that way. No.
There's a difference.
We have blown leads all fucking season. And
There's
then
a
Derek
difference
Carr
when
will
you're
get up
playing a
there and
team with
cry,
3
and he'll
wins.
act like he can. Like, I get it. I love the guy. Hope the guy well. I'm really excited for the next chapter of the quarterback in our position. Like,
Hey.
I love Derek Carr. If he wants to stay with the franchise and be the backup for the next 10 years, fucking be Colt McCoy. That's
The
fine.
Raiders are
That's
dead.
awesome.
The
Dude.
Raiders are dead. Jonathan's
No.
declared them dead.
The report,
Dude, it's
if
so
it
bad.
happens,
It's
hey,
so fucking bad.
the report that came out today, and if it happens, I quit. I just quit.
So bad.
Is that Tom Brady's trying to come to
Yep,
Vegas next
yep.
year?
I just saw an article about that. That's what I was looking at.
Dude, if that happens,
It says
just
Vegas
screw,
and San
just screw
Francisco.
the AFC West. Like, what the heck is the point?
It
Like,
says
oh,
San
let's-
Francisco and Vegas are like the top
Okay,
two landing spots.
But
He can't go to San
Like-
Francisco.
take Devontae Adams. Devontae went there because Derek Carr. Does he still want to be there if Tom Brady shows up? I mean,
Yeah.
I would
think
assume
if
yes.
you have a
I
chance
would
to play
assume-
with Tom Brady,
I
you
would-
stay.
I would assume yes, but if you left Aaron Rodgers to go play with Derek Carr and then Derek Carr is no longer your quarterback, what's your thought process?
Like, can you
You're a
imagine?
grown man on a contract. You don't play.
Can you imagine Tom Brady with with Josh Jacobs as a run game, and
And
then
then
Devontae
Yeah.
Adams to throw to on play
Super
action
Bowl.
Bring it
with-
here, baby. Bring it here.
with Darren Waller
Yep.
and
Hunter
the
Renfro.
the kicker. He's got his white boy third down wide receiver in
Hunter
Hunter Renfro.
Renfro.
I mean,
We've seen this before. It's a Super Bowl.
thank goodness that the Raiders secondary is just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm really
because-
hoping he brings some secondary with him.
Because
he
if
comes
the
over.
Raiders defense was actually good at football, that's another scenario
it-
where we might see a 19-0 football team.
our
I guess is it 20-0 now? It's not 19-0, it's 20-0.
it would
Yeah, you
be
can go 20
20
and
0 with
The Super Bowl would be 20-0.
20 0. Yeah.
I would like to see a wild card team go undefeated though. So I want
That's
21.
impossible. You can't. You can't.
5 teams go undefeated.
5
in the
teams go
regular
undefeated.
season.
No, you just need 2. You just need
Head to
someone
head.
in their division.
Oh yeah.
But that's impossible. So
The yeah, no, actually, yeah, no, that's impossible.
COVID
it is
year.
mathematically impossible.
Yeah. Dude, that would literally be one of the happiest days of my football life if
I
Tom
would
Brady.
I
announced-
quit. I just quit. I would get into college football. That's what would happen. I'd be like, you know what? I love college
Austin,
football.
why don't you just get into both? Like I like both.
Because Saturday morning / afternoon, I got soccer.
No, I
And that-
watch a soccer game every Saturday morning. I watch
Yeah.
that, and then I turn on college.
I watch like 8.
I don't do that. That's no. I watch the most soccer I watch is every 4 years,
So
and it's coming
Me
to
too.
an end right now. So
yep. Sunday.
Thank God.
Sunday. All right. Shut
Oh, I'll
up.
be in
Shut
New
up,
York.
Shane.
I
How
don't
dare
give
you.
2 shits about that final game. I will be in New York having the time of my life.
All right, Blake. Last NFL game. Let's talk about the boys.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, a
They
win's a
did-
win.
Y'all
It was
should
a
have
win.
won and lost. Fuck off. That was so
Hey,
stupid. Kick
here's
the
what I'll say
goddamn
though.
field
Kick the
goal.
field
and win the game.
goal.
Kick the goddamn field goal.
The
That,
Texans.
you want to talk about a team that's tanking on purpose?
Yeah.
They're fucking, but they blew that shit on
But
purpose.
They could have won that game.
It's still
and
been the
still-
worst goddamn team
Still
in the
been the
NFL.
worst team by a game and a half. So I don't get it.
The Texans,
Kick a
for
field
some reason,
goal.
kind of have the Cowboys numbered to some degree.
Hey, I love Lovey Smith
No.
and that beard though.
I'm
I don't
changing the
believe
name of
that.
this podcast to Kick the Field Goal Podcast. That's our
Yes,
new name.
we should change the name to
Kick the
fucking
Field Goal
field goal.
Podcast.
No,
But
I
hey-
don't believe that, Blake. I'm not on board with that. I think Dallas can look like the absolute best team ever to play the game one game, and then absolute dog shit the next.
They are consistently inconsistent.
It was the defense. I feel like the defense was just terrible.
Hey, but
The
another
Texans
take.
did whatever they wanted.
What do
Micah
you mean?
Parsons
Dak
lost
looks-
the defensive player
Dak
of the year.
looks like trash.
No,
Hey,
both sides of the ball look terrible this week.
Dak
You're
did
go-
not
hey.
look good.
you're going into the playoffs. A win is a win, and you've learned how to win in a shitty situation. Is there
The
not
thing-
something to say about that?
No.
Well-
That was good. Dak Prescott looked good on the final drive, which is a big thing.
I hate Dak
for
Prescott.
confidence,
I
whatever.
fucking hate that.
I don't
I
think
got,
he's
I
all
got
that.
I got some big problems with Kellen Moore. Tony Pollard had a humongous first quarter
Oh,
and then
fuck.
never
And you leave
touched
him
the
out of the
football
game.
again.
Yes.
Tony
It's like, what
Tony
is
Pollard
happening?
needs the ball in his hands about every other play.
Dude, Tony Pollard's the
I
best
would-
running back you guys have. So
I
just
would
give him the
be
ball.
I would be trading Zeke out. I would be
No,
if you
I
give
mean,
me a
I get
third
give
round
it.
pick for him, take him.
No,
I
have
get
both.
I get having both. Zeke didn't touch the ball much either. It was the same thing as with Andy Reid. What they were just like, you know what? We don't need to run the football. We're gonna prove that we are the best passing team ever. But then also, Dak Prescott doesn't look at receivers. He's just like, "Where's Dalton Schultz?
No, yep.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw
This
it
was
to
a-
Dalton
yeah.
Schultz."
This is the
The
classic
most
case of
elusive
like any
tight
given
end
Sunday.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday. But also, it struck me as like one of the games where it's like the coaches, like you're playing a 1-win team in week 14.
No.
You almost don't want to put a whole lot on tape.
People will tell you the hardest thing to do as a coach is not to play the Super Bowl champions because everyone's
Play the
up for it. It's
worst
to
team.
play the worst team in the NFL. Because, yeah. Also, the Texans just want to prove that they're better than the Cowboys and to be the best team in Texas and da 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 da. But
They
the
actually
Cowboys,
look
Texans want-
competent. Was the
The,
crazy part.
no,
the Texans want
Cowboys
those
just
two
look real
fat
bad.
Mexicans to be on screen dancing and doing their old
Yeah.
hoop flaw.
I am worried the Cowboys secondary is a little bit on the beat up side, and Trevor Lawrence
Ooh.
looks like he knows how to throw a football. So this week is going to be interesting.
And
I
Trayvon
really-
Diggs got beat jumping again
Oh my gosh.
No,
Okay,
but hey,
Diggs
you
is the
give-
worst
you-
teammate ever, right? Like he's throwing a hissy fit
Yeah.
about this football.
on Twitter.
Like I think that's that guy's like first ever interception. Diggs like it's
Yeah.
mine.
He's like, give me a half.
I-
Give me a half.
I didn't see that, but I will take Trayvon laying out and getting beat any day of the week.
No,
any
Diggs
day of the week.
Diggs didn't play bad. I mean, he didn't play
No,
bad.
he had a couple plays where he sees it coming and he jumps it, and
Yeah.
they just go because they know he's
Yeah.
gonna
No,
lose.
but that one route, that's probably what you're talking about, where it's like he tried to jump it and it was an epic failure.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you probably shouldn't do that. But
You
Well,
can't
at
do
the
it on
same
every
time-
play. You can't
Well-
do it on every play.
So typically, though, the reason why that works is because the Cowboys are the best pass rush in the NFL. They did not have any sacks on
No, Michael
Sunday.
Parsons
Really?
is terrible.
Also, the Bucks did not have any sacks on Sunday, and the 49ers didn't have any sacks on Sunday, which snapped the 3 longest defensive sack streaks in the NFL on
You're
the
telling me
same day.
The 49ers didn't have any sacks and they beat
Tom
the
Brady
shit
did
out
not
of
get
the-
sacked.
Wow.
Actually, he only got hit 8 times.
I wasn't tracking that, but if I
Yeah, but
would've
he's gotten to the
guessed-
point. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't trust his O line so much.
No,
He's getting rid of the
he
ball.
throws
so
it
fast.
away immediately. He throws it in
Yeah.
the dirt. I mean, but he's always done that. He's smart. He understands that he's a lanky, fragile human being. So he's always been someone to throw the ball away or throw it in the dirt or do whatever because he's smart. He protects the football, which is why he only has, I think, 5 picks this year. The problem is he's thrown only 17 touchdowns. So not great.
It's baffling to see Tom Brady in the stature we're seeing him in. It's baffling.
Hopefully the NFL writes its course this week. I'm feeling pretty chalky this week after interesting weekend. Vegas crushed this weekend. I mean, it was a great weekend
gosh.
for them.
Yeah.
It was probably their best weekend of the year. I did see I follow this page that talks about like the worst or like the notable bets from football over the weekend. And the biggest prop bet was over Denver Broncos wide receiver. His last name is Hinton. I don't even know what his first name is at 38.5 yards. But then based off of a sharp better, the sharp better pushed it up to 39.5. And I think he only got like 38 or
39.
whatever, or like he middled
Or
it. Somehow.
39.
Yeah, he like middled it somehow. And so like basically it was just like, yeah, the public.
How
got
does
too
Vegas
much on
even
the sport
set those
prop bet.
lines?
I don't know, but they're great at it.
Why do you think Vegas is in business?
I mean, they got the almanac from Back to the Future 2, the sports almanac.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like how like a prop bet like that, like getting it directly on it. That's unbelievable.
They've got, but the problem is, we're a couple of guys betting against probably 100 dudes that are straight up. That's all they do is find these stupid prop bets that us regulars are like, oh, this is gonna hit for sure, and they win every single time. It's impressive. Give it to them.
That's true.
I hate Vegas. Them sorry some bitches.
Well, good news that you hypothetically gamble through South Africa, so good for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Joe's
right.
sub shop in Jersey.
I have never gambled in the United States of America ever.
Never. I live in South
Nice.
Africa.
Hey,
I have when I lived in Indiana where it was legal.
would you guys like to do some BS conjecture? We're gonna do a
Yeah.
TikTok trend. Is that fun?
Uh-oh.
We're hip. We're gonna need audience participation this time. So please comment in the YouTube section below. Or if you are one of our many Spotify listeners, meaning just myself, please tweet at us at FIK Podcast on Twitter. What we are going to do, okay, TikTok trend that I have seen, we are going to take from the AFC and the NFC. We are going to use a random team generator, and we are going to pick a quarterback, a running back,
Oh god.
3 wide receivers, and a tight end. So we're going to run a 3-1 formation here. We're going to do that from the AFC and the NFC, and then we will decide which team we think is the better team.
All right.
So basically, I'm going to say a team, and you have to fill one of the slots. You can pick whichever one you think is best. So we'll start with the AFC. To start, our first team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you have to pick a quarterback,
George
running back.
Pickens.
George
Yeah,
Pickens?
George Pickens.
All right, George Pickens is where we're going with.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, our second team, still not great from the AFC, is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, we'll take Jonathan Jacobs.
Well, his name is
Nope.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Whatever the hell his
Jonathan
name is.
Abrams is the free
Yeah.
safety.
Would
we
you
cut.
rather have Josh Jacobs at running back or Devontae Adams at wide receiver?
Oh, Devontae. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about Devontae.
We gotta have 3 wide receivers.
3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back.
Yeah.
All right.
How did I forget about?
Next up, golly, we're getting really terrible things over here. The Indianapolis Colts.
Oh,
Jonathan
son of
Taylor.
a bitch.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor. All right, never mind. That's a good pick.
With an actual offensive line, he might actually be the best player in the NFL.
All right, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Justin Herbert.
So we still
No.
have
Social media.
Sorry, we have quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end still available.
Mike Williams, give us, because we got hope that there's a better quarterback coming.
Who the heck is he even in there? Is there tight end?
I don't know, but I'll take
George,
Mike Williams.
it's Everett, is it not?
Everett.
Yeah.
I think Everett's a good pick here. I like Everett.
I don't give a shit.
I really don't like gambling with quarterback because you don't. I'm afraid.
No,
I'm
you
afraid.
gotta
of
Yeah,
have
it.
good
because
quarterback.
I'm hoping Josh
Okay,
Allen or
but-
Patty Mahomes shows up.
But yeah, it's like the random number generator
But if the
might not
Chiefs-
pop up.
If the Chiefs show up, you just take Travis Kelce. Easy.
No, we already locked in tight end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You take Justin Herbert and the Chiefs pop up, you just get Travis Kelce anyways.
That's true.
That's true. I think Herbert is the right move here because I'm afraid of the quarterback situation.
All right.
Watch, the next one will be the Chiefs.
No, it's
Hey, if the next one's
Bills.
if the next one is the Chiefs, you get the greatest tight end in history. So I'm
I
asking.
agree.
It's gonna be the
Agreed.
Bills. Is what it's gonna be.
Hey, if you get the Bills, you get Stephon Diggs. Like, I mean, we still
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
and even if we already take a wide receiver and you get the Bills, you get Dawson Knox, another good wide receiver.
I love Dawson Knox.
We got the New England Patriots.
I'll take that. I'll take
Hunter-
that center.
Hunter Henry.
Henry.
Because they
Now-
don't have a wide receiver.
What's that center from Middle Tennessee? I'll put him out in the slot.
Well, we're not doing centers. And we got
Uh-oh.
the Cleveland Browns for wide
Oh,
receiver.
shit.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. So not a bad squad.
That's not a bad squad.
So
Your
from-
auto generator sucks.
we got a lot of teams. For the AFC, we have Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, and Hunter Henry. That's not a bad squad.
No, that's pretty good.
To the
The
NFC, we
NFC.
go.
It's gonna be
The Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I think you have to. Unless
He's
you want to
the
take Aaron
best-
Jones here.
He is the best thrower of the ball.
Unless you're ready to take Aaron Jones here.
Yeah, you
That,
take Aaron Rodgers.
You don't like Christian Watson?
That I'll say Christian Watson's pretty fast.
Oh, get that guy off my television.
I'm all right with the Aaron Rodgers pick. He is the most talented quarterback of all time. He does kind of suck this year, but that's okay.
Yes, he does, but
Probably a outcome of the team, though. Team's not
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that's a terrible pick. Oh gosh, the Chicago Bears.
oh
They
god.
have no wide receivers.
Who
Khalil
even is
Herbert,
on that team?
the running back. I
Yep.
without his knee injury, he's
Oh,
a great
Mostert.
running back.
No, Mostert plays for the Dolphins. I like
okay.
Herbert. I mean, that's the only option.
The
Unless
only
we're
option.
taking, unless you're taking Cole Kmet, a decent tight end.
Oh, that's a good one too.
One of the tight ends are in the NFC. Nobody any good. Take Cole Kmet.
Kmet.
Hawkinson.
Yeah, take Kokomet. We're not gonna get the Lions or
Tanyan.
the Vikings.
I like Komet.
Dalton Schultz.
Oh
Eh.
shit.
Eh.
Kmet is having a pretty decent year. I will say that. The Atlanta Falcons, those dirty birds.
Oh gosh.
I
Well,
mean,
that's
there's
easy.
This Calvin Ridley caught.
You're taking
no.
Cordero Patterson.
Cordero
You're
Patterson.
taking Cordero Patterson. That's easy.
I will
It's easy.
say, Drake London's starting to grow on me. He's having a pretty decent
Drake
year.
London is looking good. Better than Kyle Pitts.
Well, Kyle Pitts is injured, so that doesn't happen.
Also, he doesn't ever, even if he's in the game, he don't do nothing.
Oh, the Detroit Lions
Oh damn.
immediately regret
Amon
taking
Ross
running back.
St. Brown.
I
Yeah, St.
immediately
No,
Brown.
regret-
give me Jamal Williams. Give me Jamal Williams.
No,
Jameson
Where did he
Williams.
take a
No,
running back?
Jamal Williams already took a running back.
but and even if we didn't take a running back, I still like D Swift more than Jamal Williams. But yeah, no,
Jamal
St.
Williams has
Brown.
the most touchdowns in the league.
What's that?
Yeah.
Is that Amon Ra or is that Equinamius?
Amarwar or whatever.
I love
Won that, that's for
Ahmad
sure.
Saint. I love Saint Brown.
Ooh.
He's a baller.
We got the Philadelphia Eagles, but we only have wide receivers available. So
AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown.
Would you rather have
AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown, or would you rather have Devontae Smith?
No,
I'll take
AJ Brown.
And
And
man,
number
could we
5. And last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys.
What
Wide
position?
receiver?
Wide receiver?
Still wide receiver.
CD Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
CD Lamb. Gotta
Okay,
have
the
that
AFC
slot.
wins. The
All
AFC
right.
wins.
Here we go.
No.
our two teams. And hey, we would love some fan participation on this one of who do you have? The AFC versus the NFC. We'll go through the lineups one more time. The AFC, we have starting at quarterback, Justin Herbert. Running back, Jonathan Taylor. Wide receiver number 1, Devontae Adams. Wide receiver number 2, Amari Cooper. Wide receiver number 3, George Pickens. And tight end, Hunter Henry. For the NFC, we have starting at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Starting at running back, Cordero Patterson. Wide receiver 1 is AJ Brown. Wide receiver 2 is CD Lamb. Wide receiver number 3 is Amon Ross St. Brown. and tight end is Cole Kmet. We would love
I'm
to
taking-
see who you would take.
Yeah, the AFC's probably taking that one.
I'm taking the NFC just because Aaron
you're a
Rodgers. You
fool.
give him some
You're a
people that
fool.
can catch the ball.
AFC. I like AFC.
The AFC dominates.
It'd be
I'm
good.
taking the-
Look, can we add a defense on? Not like individual players, just like a.
No, that's next week.
This
Next
is
week
not
we'll do the
fantasy football.
defense. Come on, man. I mean, we gotta spread this out. Next week we're doing BS conjecture with defense. We'll draft a couple pass rushers, couple corners, couple safeties, couple
Ooh.
linebackers. We'll see how we go.
I'm still taking Aaron Rodgers over Herbert.
Ooh. All right, here we go. If we can finish up in the next 10 minutes, we'll get done under 2 hours for 2 weeks in a row. Let's do this. Last,
we
but
went over 2 hours.
nope,
Last
it was an hour and 58 minutes.
week.
All right,
That's good.
let's
I gotta
finish
go to
up
bed.
this week.
If
yeah,
you would have
yes.
watched it.
This week we're gonna do some better gambling. Here we go. I hinted at it earlier. I'm taking the Bills -7 this week because 1, bad weather in Buffalo, as we already talked about. But 2, the Miami Dolphins used space heaters in Los Angeles this week.
That was wild. That was a wild move.
They were using space heaters in Los Angeles. They don't
It was
stand
60
a
degrees.
chance in Buffalo in December.
That's terrible.
Also, cold, windy. I don't trust Tua's noodle arm over Josh Allen's rocket. There you go.
Ooh.
So Buffalo -7. I'm also taking those meeps plus 1.5. UTSA, the Roadrunners, they always cover, right? Surely. And I'm doing it again. I just love me a trap line on a Sunday. There's no way that the Cincinnati Bengals don't just dog walk Tampa Bay, right? There's no way. I'm taking Bengals
I wanted to
-3.5.
take that one. I wanted to take that one, but
I wanted to
something
take the
weird about it.
Bengals. I wanted to take the Lions. I wanted to take the Vikings. All of it scared me. I want to take the 49ers. All of it terrifies me because they all seem too short. But I decided that the Bengals are hot and that their defense can stop Tom Brady's pitiful offense.
Ooh.
All right. Shane, you want to go next? You talked, so you can go next.
I got MCDC and the Detroit Lions straight up against the Jets.
He got a
Then I got-
-1. Not straight up.
Oh.
It's -1, but that's fine.
Sorry,
We get-
yeah,
you're good,
I'm
you're
looking
good.
at my phone.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I just dropped my phone. Then I got the Tennessee Titans +3 against the Chargers, and then the Vikings. I hope this isn't an overreaction.
Little bounce back game.
-4 against the Colts. I gotta have that one. Gotta have it. Colts suck. I mean, gotta have that one.
We need a lot of 3-0 weekends this weekend. We need to bounce back
Yeah,
strong.
it was bad.
It's possible that everyone can go 3-0. No one's against each other this week, so maybe this is it. Let's go to the other twin. Let's go, Blake. What do we got?
All right, I got Dallas -4.5. This is a bounce back week. We got Pittsburgh +2.5. That's just a vibes play. I don't know why I think Pittsburgh has a chance. And then Minnesota -4.5. All-time bounce back week.
I do think this is the best line you can get with the Cowboys this week. I also wanted to take them. Like the Jaguars looked amazing, and the Cowboys
liable to
looked
look terrible. Yep.
So, like, there's a chance.
Overreaction.
There's a chance that the Cowboys the past 2 weeks have blown people out, and there's a chance they do it again. So I also took Dallas, but not as one of my official picks. So I think that's a good pick. So they're probably going to lose.
Blake, you
Probably.
also got Minnesota at -4.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, Minnesota's -4. Yep.
Okay. Jonathan, what's going on in college football?
We're staying
God.
true to ourselves here. I'm taking Marshall -10 to beat them old UConn Huskies.
Is this basketball or football?
No, it's football.
UConn's got a football team? What? Didn't even know. All right, good
Yeah,
job.
dude. They're
Jim
bowl
Mora?
eligible.
Jim Mora?
Dude, first time bowl eligible in like 15 years.
Since
Look
Dan
him up.
Orlovsky.
That's,
Look 'em
that's,
up.
Yeah.
I know they have a football team. My point is
I
that
know,
they've
I
been
know.
terrible for forever.
No,
Dan Orschlovsky and Aeropostale uniforms.
old Dan.
Marshall probably will win that game by 50. So good.
Yeah, that's why it's
probably-
it's
that's
a
a good pick.
guarantee. It's
That's probably a
money
lot.
in the bank. And then I am taking UT San Antonio Roadrunners
Yeah, meeps.
Me.
over the Troy Trojans. Shane.
You've
then
never
I'm
used a Trojan in your lifetime, Shane.
Yeah. Man hasn't seen it.
I got another kid coming, so oh, that was a joke.
Blake's face though. Blake was
I
like,
was
"Wait,
waiting.
what?"
I was waiting for him to be like, I'm actually serious.
I was too.
So we already had some big news before the podcast even recorded. So we don't need to have record. We don't need to have it while it's being recorded.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you can say that out loud. She posted
No,
it. They already
Oh.
posted it.
All right, good deal.
Congrats.
Good deal.
The Detroit. I'm taking Detroit Lions over the Jets because the Jets are absolute dog shit.
Congrats, Mac.
Woo! Cool. All right, that'll do it for this week. We'll see y'all next week.
Gig 'em.
Hopefully, no
we're
babies.
still not going to be at the college football playoffs. We're going to get to the college football
Shit,
playoffs.
no, we got 2 weeks, right?
I know.
2 weeks. We got a lot of bowl games.
That's true. All the bowl
Not
games.
our team. Our team's not in bowl games, but it is what it is.
I'd rather
We're
us
in
not be
we're in a
crappy
visual
game.
bowl game.
Hey,
All right. Yep.
one minute.
Yep. No one press stop. Keep going. Just talk.
All right. Sad news.
Uh-oh.
If Mike Leach would have won the bowl game this year and his first 2 home games that are scheduled against scrubs, he would have been 60% win average and been eligible for the Hall of Fame, but he's not eligible because he's at 59.6.
Oh man.
Hey, they'll round
Seems
up.
like it.
That's 60%. Round up.
They
Hey,
don't round up.
seems
What do you mean,
like an honorable
Do
discharge.
they have a rule about decimals?
They don't round up. You have to be
Sir,
over 60.
you just lost your shot at the Hall of
The Hall of
Fame.
Fame.
Oh, God.
Cheryl, I
End
do
it.
not care.
End it.